It's the first week of August, and this is usually when the Jews start sweating to death.
Oh shit! Are we streaming right now?
Yeah, we're streaming, guy.
What is with this echo?
Yeah, I'm hearing echo. Also, it's
Hadrian.
definitely
Try
you.
booting.
Swampist, this happened with your ship.
This is
Try
my fault.
booting Hadrian.
What are you wearing on your head?
I'm fucking doing a bit, dude. We have double.
Yeah, no, Hadrian, it's not you, dude.
I think it's Hadrian.
It's happening with Harrison's.
Well, Isaac sounds like he's echoing to me.
No, now the echo's gone.
Oh, now it is.
Now it's gone.
So I guess it was me. I guess I don't know what to do. I'll fix it. So you guys talk for a second.
Well, now it's working. So
Nice.
What's up, Hadrian?
Not much. Just doing landlord shit. You know, really Jewing it up over here. moving money around abstractly. Making a living, creating no products. What?
Why do you think Jews love being landlords in real estate in particular?
I don't know if they love it. They're good at it. Because
they're good. Not that good.
It feels good to do what you're good at. Making deals, anything that's deal oriented. I think the Believer got it right. It's we like dealing in abstractions. It's fun, and there's something.
It's like asking a black why they're so fast. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Or why they're good at basketball.
Did we ever find out if blacks have I remember in middle school I would always hear that they had an extra muscle in their femur or something.
I'm sure that's scientifically accurate. Yeah.
In their heel. In their foot.
Is that true?
In their heel?
I think so. They probably banned that information now.
That's banned.
It's banned. We can't talk about that.
I thought it was all just biomechanics of leg length.
That bone has no name.
Oh, dude. Well, this is interesting. If you look that up, one of the first things that comes up is anatomical differences in the psoas muscles in young black and white men.
Oh,
so yeah, but it's a difference in the muscle. It's not an entirely different muscle.
The psoas minor muscle was absent in 91% of black subjects, but only in 13 of the white subjects.
You guys are really throwing me in the deep end here.
So it's maybe blacks are lacking a muscle that makes them.
No, it's just a different length. It's just a different length of the.
You're a little quiet.
Me?
I'm a little quiet. You're a little quiet. Yes.
I'm quiet.
Yes, probably because you're wearing a World War II helmet.
How's that? Is that less
a little
quiet?
Better. A little better.
Is that
it's not World War II? Actually, this is current. This is an operator helmet, bro.
That's a Patriot.
We're in the bunker.
Helmet.
We're in the fucking bunker, bro.
You're still kind of quiet, dude.
What is that helmet for? Is it for bombs? What does it protect you from?
It's a little sped, to be honest.
It's from it. It pretty much only protects me from airsoft. It's plastic.
It's a little short bus, buddy.
Dude, I also have some swag. I also have some swag that I'm pouring my whiskey in. It's one of our iconic Will glasses, and I just pulled it right out of the cupboard, and it's the Lacey Will glass. Look, it's the Lacey one.
Shout out Lacey.
Shout out to Lacey. No, dude. You think you're gonna get a fucking glass? You fucking goy Puerto Rican.
Why would she get one?
No goy Puerto Rican glasses, dude. Come on.
What is she? Is she Jewish?
It's only
is she Jewish with the last name Christ?
Only Jews get good glasses.
Christ?
Yeah, she's a Jew with the last name Christ. It's a really common Jewish last name.
Well, I mean, there was one famous Jew with that name.
It's a direct descendant. She's a direct descendant of Jesus Christ.
Actually, technically, it's a very Jewish name, actually.
Believe it or not, the Christ family is still Jewish. After all
the Christ family, Jesus is their RFK Jr. They're just he's disgusting to us. We're the real Christ, Chris.
We're the real Christ. We're the Christs. We're the Christ. We live on the Upper West Side.
That would be that would be such a Larry David show, like the Christs, and they're just Jewish and they hate their long lost cousin,
they hate
literally
their weird,
Jesus,
the weird black sheep of the family.
And you pronounce it Christ.
It's Christ. He said Christ. Everybody thinks it's Christ. He said Christ. It's Christ.
How did that work? Was Joseph and Mary named like Mary Christ and Joseph Christ?
I think Christ is more like a nickname or a hip hop thing that was given later.
He didn't have a father. He had
short
a father
for Christmas.
His dad was not the father. Joseph was not the father of Jesus. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Joseph was not the father of Jesus. I don't know.
No,
It comes from the
fucking retard.
It comes from the Greek word.
I'm pretty sure that's
literally they call him the son of God. Like, I love it. You're like, I'm like a Jewish scholar, but I don't know anything about this whole Christendom.
It roughly translates as
I think it was.
It roughly translates as Messiah, basically. It's like a Greek term. So
it's like king. It's king.
Jesus,
right? King is
Messiah.
Christ,
Messiah.
So Jesus would never have said, "I'm Jesus Christ." He never would have said that to anybody.
No, you like said
did he say that?
Christ.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I think he might have said, "I am the Christ."
I think he did said, "I am the Christ." Yeah, I think he said stuff like that.
I am the king.
Sounds like him.
Yeah. It's like Kanye changing his name.
Sounds like him. He always said stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never read the New Testament. I don't know this shit.
Hadrian, are you Jewish too? Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Hadrian's.
Oh yeah.
I'm a
Hadrian's a very
thoroughbred.
non-Jewy Jew, though. He
always say that.
He does not seem Jewish when you
What the
meet
fuck
him.
are you talking about? Hadrian seems incredibly Jewish.
Does he? He really doesn't seem Jewish to me.
Culture Jew. I'm a real.
He doesn't have
landlord.
vampire face like you.
Well, Hadrian.
I'm a
is
blue-eyed
100
Jew.
Yeah, Hadrian's 100%. He's not even a Michelin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a
pure
thoroughbred. I call it
Yeah.
thoroughbred.
true.
Yeah. Like no, just generation after generation of not fucking guys, just Jews fucking Jews.
That is amazing. It's pretty hard to do. It's like, how could you make it that far without? That's like difficult.
well,
That's
just
real
weird. That's the special.
Real weird.
I can't.
Why do you think
without
Jews are
banging
so
a door.
weird? It's all the inbreeding. That's why we have like Tessex and stuff. Like we really kept it in the fam.
Yeah, no, Jews are just 100% blacks on the other side of the coin. Jews and blacks are the same thing. They're just like, yin and yang. It's Jews and blacks, yin and yang.
Yeah, you really see it with the NBA, where it's like the players and the owners, and it's the perfect.
One is like
yin-yang.
one is brain, one is body. They're the same. They're the same basic.
One is extra Tiber muscle, and one is mind.
And they pay the same amount of taxes, which is 0.
What is Tiber? What is a Tiber muscle?
The Tiber. That's the extra muscle they have.
A Tiber?
That makes them good at jogging.
Oh, the old Tiber muscle, discovered by Dr.
So, Hadrian, you saw the Odyssey.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
think I
Hadrian's
liked it the
systems.
most of everybody here. I think.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
You said you were thinking about what I said, Isaac?
Yeah, I was thinking about what you said, which is that, so you're like a film nerd for real. So you like actually have serious opinions about these things. And you said that the whole thing, and you're so fucking right about this. This was a great call. You said the whole thing is like puppeteering. The whole thing is puppets. The whole thing is like puppets. And that's
practical
so
effects
true.
and stuff.
I keep seeing pictures of the stupid Scylla. Is it Scylla or Charybdis? Which one? It's the monster, the cliff monster. Is that Scylla or Charybdis?
Talking about the Cyclops hand? The Cyclops guy?
You guys don't read ancient
No,
myths. You guys don't even know what these are.
Do you mean the
It's
snake?
Scylla and
fingers?
Charybdis, man. The
snake?
Charybdis is the cliff monster. So the whole thing, like, it's like, the Scylla is the whirlpool, and then it's the cliff monster, and you have to decide.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I keep seeing pictures of, I think Scylla is the monster. Yeah. So Scylla, and it's so obviously like a puppet hand. It's obviously a puppet hand.
That's so cool.
So you really nailed that. You really nailed
Well,
it.
I heard it online. I mean, I read about it after I saw it. When I first saw it, I was just like, wow, these, the texture looks incredible of the Cyclops and stuff. And I was really struck. And then later when I read that, I was like, oh, that and it made the movie even cooler because I did think all of the set pieces are good. I like the set pieces, and I understand why someone like would bail after the first 20 minutes and just like check out and be like, this sucks, because it's full of these like endless framing devices that are super boring to cram in all the cameos and like to try and, in a weird way, my hot take on that movie is it needed to be dumber. Actually, it's the opposite, that it was actually trying too much to stay to the book spirit, and like Nolan's too tempted by the fractured narrative, and so you have all this like honestly nobody gives a shit about like Helen of Troy and her sister getting killed. Like, you don't even understand this that's happening. You're just like, oh, it's more talking. And then every time they just go and do one of the big scenes from the Odyssey, the movie kind of works. And it's just like Chris Nolan's good at that, like grounding fantasy. And like, like the Batman movies are good because it kind of like, it's as close as you could come to believing in a Batman. And like, he kind of does that with the monsters and stuff where you're like, yeah, I could kind of, like those scenes, the battles, I think they're all pretty cool. The Trojan horse is cool, but you're like, I went to the bathroom at one point and just was like, oh, I timed this perfectly. I got to skip all of the like stupid people hanging out talking about shit that's really boring. And that's where all the cameos people hate. That's where all the Elliot, Ellen, pages and shit. Like, you could just cut all of that. And the movie, I would be like, cut it all, put it in narrative order, do it like a Harryhausen movie, and everyone would have a great time.
So
I agree. The set pieces were fucking sick. The Cyclops was sick.
Okay, wait. Sorry, Denzel. Can we just can you just CGI. Give us your theory though? What is the puppet theory? What does you mean? What does that mean?
Hey, you're talking about me? Oh, you used the word puppets. I just said it's like he's a puppet, like he's using puppets.
What was your take? You had a whole take on this. You said it's puppets. What was the take here?
I just said it. That he that he actually physically, he's very good at grounding things, and that the lack of CGI and all of that. It's like when you watch Batman and when you watch why are those the best superhero movies? It's because like they actually built that car. And you can kind of go like it has weight and gravity, and you kind of like see it, and you're like, or like that Joker is like just on the edge of being like not a real person, like a cartoon, but it's not. And so you can kind of like sort of like push your suspension of disbelief. And I think I think it was kind of incredible how there's some limitations of budget. I think I think there's not enough ships and battle to like do like real spectacle, but that's what I think he's really good at. And the other part of the theory is what he's obsessed with is all these other like framing devices. Like, it's overly like he's too tempted by the Odyssey to do one of his puzzle movies, and it just doesn't ask to be a puzzle movie, even though technically that is more accurate to the poem's history of being this.
Well, I do think one thing that worked with the non-linear puzzle structure was it shows you the Siege of Troy stuff, like it's intercutting with that and the Odyssey narrative, and then it goes away from it for like an hour. And you totally forget about the Siege of Troy, like backstory. And then right at the end, as he's like coming back home, it goes and it shows you the actual like massacre where they come in the city and fuck everybody up.
Yeah, but that's also like that's
amazing pacing.
Look, he's really good at it. I'm not saying like no one's better at doing those kinds of things with all the parallel editings and the reveals, like the Prestige and stuff. I'm just like, what if the movie just opened with an incredible battle scene? And it was like, yeah, this guy's is awesome. And then he's like, you know what? We're going to go our own way. And all the ships went the other way. And you could feel that like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that. If you just open and then went on the adventure trying to get home, I think you would be just as satisfied. Like, wow, he's finally home. That was such a rough trip. He had just, it starts from this high point of him winning the battle, which is really how it's supposed to go, without a bunch of guilt. Like, oh, I shouldn't have killed all those people. Shouldn't have given him a horse that had people in it. Like, so bad.
Yeah. I also liked it for the reason a lot of people didn't like it, which is that I thought it was like a modern. It's like the Odyssey if it happened in 2026. Like, it is a very modern retelling. Like, it has a dad who was a POW in Desert Storm who has like PTSD, and he goes and has an affair with a woman who gives him like eucalyptus leaf Xanax so he can like chill out and like forget about his wife and go on a bender for a few years. And it has like this like Zoomer son who's, like awkward and like a weirdo, and I thought all that stuff
Yeah,
worked. This is what like Robert Eggers could never do. Is Robert Eggers just wants to do like he wants to like research everything perfectly to make the movie exactly what it, like I have to be so faithful to the source material. Whereas Nolan does like a modern retelling of a myth that feels like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
guess they have
applicable.
in common that desire to like ground fantasy and stuff, but they're definitely it's interesting to compare and contrast those two directors. Also, just Eggers doesn't like audiences. Like Nolan, at the end of the day, this is the other reason it should have been a stupid movie. Is like he likes Fast and the Furious movies and stuff. Like he's just really good at action and crowd pleasing, and like I'd rather see him be smart about something stupid, like surprisingly smart, than like I don't know, trying to make an actual art film or something. Like, but and Eggers, he's kind of boring for that reason too. Yeah, he doesn't like
Yeah.
those pop things. Like, yeah, related to people we can relate to. I thought
Yeah, like
Damon,
the ending was so it was also like the ending was such a classic, like the two old people moving to Florida to like take Viagra on the beach. It's like we're gonna go do our like timeshare ending while our son takes over the family business. You know.
yeah, and also like sort of like weirdly sexless too.
That
Like,
was my main issue was zero titties. He doesn't even bang what's her face, Charlize Theron.
Yeah, who he's supposed to be banging. He's
You
supposed
don't
to be
even
the
see the
sex
titties
slave.
on the sirens.
Sex
actually,
slave.
no,
The
no.
sirens
I'll
was
go
really
even
what
worse.
killed it for me. The sirens killed it because it's like, dude, you have such an opportunity there to do something cool and new, and you do nothing. It's like nothing happened. You saw the sirens for 2 seconds, and it was like you don't have any ideas for this. Also, the same thing with the Cyclops. It was like, okay, you just are gonna do nothing. Like the whole thing of Nolan is he has great visual ideas. He's not, he's ordinarily not a great writer. I mean, he can really hit some home runs sometimes, like with some of the script of Dark Knight and with some of the stuff in Interstellar and some of the stuff in Inception. Like he can write bangers like really well, or whoever does he write his shit, or is it like his brother or something?
He wrote the Odyssey himself.
Yeah, so it's like he can write bangers and scripts. Like there's some lines in fucking Dark Knight that are just like so fucking good. Like, the whole men want to watch the world burn thing. But for the most part, he's not a great writer, really. I mean, it's like pretty corny and like not that great. But what you're going to get from Nolan is great visual ideas. That's the whole thing. That's his whole fucking thing. And there was not one interesting visual idea in this entire movie. There was nothing in it. Maybe the pigs. The pigs were like kind of cool, but like,
the pigs were super cool,
The
man.
pigs were unreal.
Fine. The pigs, I'll give you the pigs. The pigs were cool, but everything else,
Not CGI.
you've got a chance to do something really cool with the Cyclops. Nothing. You've always got a crooked nose. Great. I mean, I think you were on something that he got into this theme of everything's a puppet, and like he wanted to make everything a puppet, and that was like the big idea.
He does everything
but like,
with practical effects. He doesn't like to
I
use
understand.
I like the
With
Cyclops. I thought the Cyclops scene was pretty cool.
I thought the Cyclops set piece was unbelievable.
No, I thought it was so lame, dude. I thought it was just like completely uninteresting. It was like, okay,
all the explosions in Oppenheimer were practical. They weren't,
including the nuke.
They set off a nuke. Yeah,
they set off a nuke for that movie.
Yeah,
I didn't get to say, like, I got cut off when I was saying when you were said about not boning the chick. I was like, not only that, there's literally not a single like hot chick in the entire movie.
He's always been like that with girls too. He is the worst caster of women of all time. Casting Anne Hathaway as fucking Catwoman has to be the worst idea I have ever heard. Like, what are you doing? Michelle Pfeiffer was like absolutely perfect, and then you have fucking, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway was really bad in the Odyssey, I thought too. Like she does this like,
yeah, she's like,
I don't know. Her acting is really
like
over the top, and
she's been in all his movies, I think, or she's been in a bunch of them. She's like his bud. They're buddies.
Anne Hathaway has the Taylor Swift thing where, like, I think what she thinks is sexy is being like a 1920s speakeasy woman. Like, she thinks that's like the hottest possible.
Have you seen her in Havoc? She looks pretty good in Havoc.
She's hot as fuck in Havoc.
That's
Yeah, the only
Wigger-
time she's hot is when
Wigger
she's
movie.
playing a female Wigger.
Yeah, that's the Wigger movie.
Yeah, so good. So good. She's I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. But still, it's like it's a night, like it's an age appropriate wife or whatever. But I just mean like Clash of the Titans or something, where it's like
Joker fun.
I like Isaac as the Shrek.
Dude,
Do you want to know how I got this gout?
my camera thing makes me look so fucking red all the time. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it not look so red.
it's super green too. Like all the colors.
Well,
are
no,
pumped up.
now obviously it's ridiculous. But and normally everybody says I look too red. So I'm trying this look. Now.
But I'm definitely on the obsession train. That was like
so fucking good, man.
So
that movie is so good. It is
instant star.
So good.
And that woman,
I don't know if it's like groundbreaking, like Isaac.
No, it was really good. It was genuinely and it was hilarious. Also, it was It was like what people think Jordan Peele movies are, where they're these like horror comedies. Obsession was actually a horror comedy. Like it had moments that were.
I gave me 3 or 4 jump scares. No homo. There
But
was
I mean, the whole
scary
thing,
little.
her performance is so fucking calibrated.
Both of them, dude. Both of them. That guy is such a perfect Gen Z, in that he's like tall and lunky and kind of like mulatto permy, and everything is like therapy speak. They nailed the like therapy speak. That's the one thing that I noticed about Gen Z people more than anything else. They all talk in fucking therapy talk. Like everything is about this, like it's like, oh my narcissism, my BPD, my
total.
Are you feeling your blah blah? No, I feel like Gen Z is like a million times worse.
That's just your lived experience, Isaac.
Yeah, no, that is a millennial thing. Gen Z does not talk like that at all.
Oh, they so do, dude. Every time you're with a Gen Z, they're like, I'm feeling like, your past experience of feeling trauma is coming out.
It might still be around, but millennials definitely brought that into the world.
That's a millennial millennials thing, definitely you never hear it anymore from anybody under 30.
No, I think you guys are so wrong.
Gen Z is
dude. What is fucking Backrooms about? I just saw Backrooms. Backrooms is entirely about like therapy, and so it's all about like your trauma. Backrooms is all about your trauma.
Movie, but
millennials are more about using therapy speak, and Zoomers are more about using insane Shakespearean internet, like mogging, maxing, like using all these like weird. That's our therapy.
No,
speak.
Isaac, you're so out of the loop, dude. I think you're so wrong, because I just had this. This is interesting. I have a gay neighbor. They're gay married. The guy's is about he's in his late 30s, I'd say, maybe early 40s. So he's like definitely clearly like millennial, and he came over and started talking about like how he had something issue at work, and he did all this stuff. And I was like, dude, you don't have to talk like that anymore. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. Like nobody even talks like that anymore. And all he was doing was repeating like true millennial HR. That everything you're talking about, that is like that is a true like millennial creation, I think, and a millennial nomenclature that just went out the window in the last 5 or 6 years. Like nobody says lived trauma anymore. You'll see that like in the far depths of like fat millennials, like leftists will still say that stuff, but you never hear kids talking that way, because as soon as they hear
maybe trauma is not the right word, but it's like everything is so much about your like.
I think you're
like, dude, I guarantee you, us growing up, Harrison, did anybody fucking go to therapy as like an individual person? No, nobody. Half of these fucking Zoomers have been to therapy before they leave high school. I guarantee you.
I really
but made to go. I think the Gen Z people are more nihilistic and doomer about their mental illness and stuff. Like it's like, and so it becomes like deep ironic or whatever, but they're like, I am this thing. I am a BPD monster, whatever the thing is. And then like, that's the end of the story. They're not trying to like sell you on like we need to like make a more open space for
The
you know,
Gen
right.
Z subject is like so socially isolated and weird and fucked up. They like generally they have too much social anxiety to even go to therapy. I think they're so like in their room and online. Even going to therapy is like a sort of slightly upper class coded like
I was gonna say
millennial
it's kind of
activity.
broke. They're too broke too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think that that's true anymore. I think now they all have been to therapy, especially if they're poor, because now that's what they do. They send the poor, you know, that's what people who have degrees, expensive degrees in psychology,
what
which is like
ages are you
up
calling
like
Gen Z?
100,000% from 30 years ago. They all now go become like social workers in the hood. So all these
No,
hood
dude.
people now speak like therapy language.
That is
'Cause
not.
they have, like,
that
a
is a
social worker.
millennial. I think you are, but it depends. I mean, there might be a little bit of this cross generational thing, but if somebody who's under 30 right now, especially under 25, which I guess is still Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
That is everything you're describing is millennials 10 years ago and 5 years ago. Like that is the millennial arc. If you're under 25 or you're anything like you're not even, I would say about half of those people are even going to college at this point. I think there's a whole different ball game, whole different language. I don't think everything you're talking about is the vestiges of the COVID era, and there's a few stragglers in their very early 30s that are still doing that. Maybe a few people that got jobs in the last 5 years being like diversity hires or diversity directors and shit like that. But that language, and for the most part, like is really, you know where I notice this the most probably is LinkedIn. You don't see any of that language in hiring or like job descriptions or anything like that. Like that, a lot of that is totally has moved out. Some of that is because of the legal reasons, but because of like those things don't even exist at jobs anymore. Like,
Well, dude, like think about the concept of maxing. Like the Gen
Yeah,
Z
but that's
obsession with
fucking
maxing is
5
like.
minutes old. You're talking
Well,
about
just let me-
something that's existed for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah,
for
but
Well,
it's
I'm
not a
just saying,
millennial
like, if
thing.
you think about what maxing is, therapy was universal. Therapy was like, all men should be in therapy. Everyone needs to go to therapy. The whole thing with maxing is you can max in any direction. You can looks max, you can status max, you can money max, you can buy yourself max, you can goon max, you can like, there's no one size fits all. For the Gen Z, it's like this experimentation with maxing in different strange like the system has failed. Now we have to try maxing in all these different directions to see what can like save us.
I think Isaac's too old, dude. I think the board needs to get together at Mama and push him out.
I think Isaac's just in the black community.
I'm the oldest person, and I know what you guys are talking about.
I'm gonna use some of my equity, and I'm gonna start throwing this around, and I'm just gonna let you guys know Isaac is old and he's out.
No, dude, Isaac's right about the black community. They are just getting therapy speak, and he is in the black community. That's
No,
why
I
he's
think you
sort
got-
of like.
Saying how
No, dude, I also
No,
think
here's my take. Is some things are like lifers. The millennials definitely. This has been around, Isaac. You've been hearing this language. That's why you hate it so much for like 10 years. So it pre-exists
right.
Gen
That's
Z
kind of
for
my
sure.
point. Yeah, yeah.
Like it definitely is like a thing that was peaking and was definitely
Dude, I have
woven in.
let me tell you where I'm getting this from. So
Now, hold on, let me just finish.
Okay,
It is
okay.
possible that the next generation, of course, just like once you've created like punks, there's always going to be punks, like kind of
Right.
like there's like a tail, but they're not like the original punks. So there's like, there may be young people who are still doing it because they're like, they're not part of the next subculture or something, but that subculture has been around, that like therapy obsessed, like my like DSM as astrology and like I have like avoidant this or whatever and like all that like stuff has definitely been going on for like 10 or 15
Yeah.
Dude,
years.
I think you guys are missing how. So I have a cousin. It's so funny because the guy. Well, let's go back to Obsession. The guy in Obsession is such a perfect Gen Z archetype. Like I've met like 5 of that exact guy, the bear character, and they're so soft, right? Like they're so like they've been living in the panopticon so long that they're so afraid of like ever seeming inappropriate in any way. So they all have this kind of like big doofus, like soft. They're just completely like devoid of anything that is like youthfully
like instinctual.
like scary, right? They're so vanilla. And they're kind of like big though, and they're like there's just these big vanilla white dudes. I know like so many of these guys, and that's why that movie is so, in my opinion, both those characters, like that young, vaguely Mexican, like actory, kind of smart but hot girl who like in a certain light looks really good and then in a certain light looks really bad. Like that was so fucking perfect because you know that exact girl, like you know who that is. And then you also know who this guy is, who's this like soft, tepid bitch. And it's not just being a soft, tepid bitch. It's being it in this very Gen Z fashion. He's got like the mop top. You know, he's kind of scared to ever like deal with his feelings or deal like.
Well, I struggled with that character a bit in terms of like it alienating me from the movie. The movie was so good that I liked it anyways. But the thing I found it very trying about was he's so cowardly.
Yeah,
like he's just every part of them. Yeah, no, I kind of went with it with like this is like a Edgar Allan Poe thing, and he's just suffering.
Well, and that's why so many women or so many people interpreted it as he's actually the bad guy, because it's like
he is the bad guy.
He's such a bitch that it's like, you know, that's actually bad.
That's why he couldn't get.
Well, that's why it's truly a horror movie for women. Also, is because the horror for women is what if such a Gen Z lumpy bitch like you're describing got to bang you and like put you under a spell, and it wasn't her.
Yeah,
like, what if that guy?
That's a good point.
You know,
yeah.
For the record, spoilers, everybody. I really thought. Speaking of cowardly, the one big tell is I thought the ending was incredibly cowardly. But
well, no. Let me just finish this fucking point. So this dude reminds me of people I've employed, people I've fucking met. I have a cousin who broke up with a girl recently, and I hung out with him. He's very Gen Z. He's this exact type. And every time he talked about his breakup, it was like he was talking like a 45-year-old talking about like breaking up with a this was a girl he was with for like 6 months. And he's talking about it like, oh, you know, he was putting it all on himself. Like, I really just took it for granted. And that's because I have a history of being, you know, like my fear of judgment makes me err on the side of pushing people out of my life. Same fucking thing in back rooms.
How old is he?
And hold on. This dude's like 25. He and this fucking girl, like, I can't remember if this is 100% true or if it was with another girl, whatever, but they went to like couples therapy. You have 22-year-old couples in today's world going to fucking couples therapy, like a lot. That actually happens. In our era, when we were growing up, if anybody we knew was going to couples therapy, we would have thought that was the most insane fucking thing imaginable. These Gen Z 22-year-old kids are going to couples therapy with their girlfriends. That's literally happening.
That is not normal. And
no, it's happening, bro. Somebody fucking weigh in who's watching this, which is nobody.
Somebody.
I mean, now I do.
Zero chats. We have zero chats, but I don't think,
dude. My traffic on Twitter is just completely fucked.
We need Capitalismo is the only person that watches our show. Where's Capitalismo? Hold on.
Wait,
I thought
Hadrian, what was your thing with the ending?
Hold on. I'm making a point real quick.
Sorry. Harrison, then Hadrian.
It's fine. Continue.
The ending? I guess well, I mean, obviously it's a horror ending, and obviously everything about it is constructed that she's gonna fucking blow her brains out. And like he just can't do it to her. Which doesn't even make sense, because even if she did survive, it would be a horrible, irrecoverable situation. Like she would have murdered, you know what I mean? Like she would have murdered someone and be caught, etc. There's no out of it. Like it, it is all extending mechanically, and obviously you can feel it to a great, horrible ending. And they just didn't want to do it because they're like, oh, she's nice.
Yeah, but does the BPD girlfriend ever actually kill themselves? Isn't that kind of, they threaten to kill themselves, obviously, like weekly, but do they ever actually do it?
No.
I don't know. And that's
Women
what
don't
she
kill
is in that
themselves.
movie.
It's very rare.
You know what else she kind of is that I thought was sort of interesting? That's, I know I was kind of fixing on the BPD one, which is definitely in there, but the other feminine archetype that I think she does really well that's sort of scary is like the moment the spell works and that she is now decided that she must have him, and you see every level of female seduction and wild to like get into his car,
Mhm.
like that
Yeah.
stuff, like the incredible like devilish levels of like plotting and scheming that women are capable of, taken to like another space. I mean, it's kind of charming, but like that they like when she decides that she wants him, all the tricks in the book start coming out under this guise. And I thought she did an incredible job in that section. Like that's really like the seduction section is incredible. And that's I guess you could say that's sort of BBD too, I suppose.
Well, and I think there's
once they've like fixated on you for liminally or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think there's to that point, it's sort of what Isaac was saying is like the guy that wrote the movie Curry or whatever, I think is like 25 or 26 years old. So like he's making fun of that speech by like putting it on that character, I think, in some ways. Like when they use that in the movie, it's sort of they're lampooning it a little bit, I think. And you also got to think a lot of their therapists are millennials. So you're right. There is that whole cohort of Gen Z kids that are that are doing therapy, but like their therapists are all like millennials and older that are teaching.
Yeah.
So like when they
I think that's
that,
true.
that is sort of a signal of like, oh, you're like a leftist retard robot.
Oh, if you go on those like web,
millennial.
Yeah.
So there is
might be
that
true.
crew,
That might
but
be
like
true.
I do think the prevailing counter to that is like, oh, dude, you sound like my therapist from when I was 13.
When I was
And dude,
13,
and you know what really, this is what nailed this home for me. Did you see the clips of Clavicular graduating middle school?
No.
Did you see those clips?
Yeah.
I might have to pull it up in a second, but it's him with his parents. He's graduating middle school on Zoom, and he's sitting there and he looks like just a little fucking kid.
Oh yeah, I think I saw.
And it's like,
because during COVID,
from
yeah.
5 or 6 years ago. He's like 19 or 20 now or whatever. He's like 20 and 21 something. He's like, and you're seeing a kid living in that era, like that COVID era, and like he's with his parents, and it's awful. Like everybody went crazy when they had to spend so much time with their kids and their family. Like a lot of people could not handle that. Some people can handle that shit. Some people cannot. Like families cannot take that. And I don't know I'm sure he's fine with his parents. I don't really know anything about that aspect of his life, but like you can see like something in his head that goes, oh, I will never, like, everybody around me is retarded and fuck all these people. And I think that's actually kind of his personality today. And that's what these kids today, when I think of a Zoomer, I think of like kids that love saying racist shit, love just doing the opposite of what us
because like, they saw how fucking stupid adults and they're I think that's really true.
Yeah. And my brother's kids are teenagers now. They're not Gen Z. I guess they're Gen Alpha. I don't know. But like they are so crazy different than like, and they grew up like my nephew is like an Instagram friend with me now. It's like, but they just treat life so dramatically different. And it's such like it's like their rebellion is like doing the opposite of what our millennials did. And so when you do see like that 22-year-old that talks like that, you're like, yeah, that is some sort of Stockholm syndrome. That is not, I don't think that's the norm anymore.
Yeah. And also, dude, again,
I think it's basic bitch versus counterculture for them. Like if you're going to be a very conformist person, like maybe your nephew or whoever is, you're going to talk the way, your teachers and your parents want you to talk. And it's like, Yeah, if you ever looked for a therapist for someone lately and gone like the databases for like insurance, I don't go to therapy, but I've tried to
It's a
help people find
nightmare.
them. And yeah, and you see all these code words in the descriptions. It's like
Right.
trauma based. I specialize in like trauma based, diversity problem, whatever, and it's in the like, and there are all these millennial therapists, yeah, that are like all the language is coded in the descriptions, so like you're getting on brand.
Yeah. Well, and also therapy was for millennials like religion. It was like, this is the whole difference with millennials and Gen Z is like millennials are this retarded generation that just think everything's going to be fine and awesome, and you can put total trust in the system.
Yeah, but
and
see
like,
now, okay, so this is the talking points of our time, which is that millennials bad, Gen Z good, right? Because like millennials are like the most narcissistic, they're the reflection of the boomers, whereas Gen X is cool and Gen Z is cool, and millennials and boomers suck because they're super narcissistic and all that shit. And like, okay, that's all true. Like, I sort of get that, but I don't know. Now I'm starting to see, like, that's why I love this Bear character, because I think like the Gen Z dudes might be the biggest pussies of all time, like even worse than millennials. Like, I think they're so totally cucked. And like, I think they're literally like little baby hamsters who are just going to stay baby hamsters for their whole lives. And that's actually like really terrifying.
I don't think those things
that's
contribute.
actually, like,
You
really
may have a
scary.
point.
I totally agree. I
Like,
think
they're
that
never
point you're
going to
completely
become
right about.
adults. Like, they're never going to actually,
Yeah.
they're going to be so panopticonized. They're going to be so watched, just the men, not the women. They're going to be so watched every fucking second. And it's going to be so terrifying to make any move that is bad at all.
Yeah, they've been raised inside the prison.
Like, they're going to just lose their fucking minds.
I
like,
completely
can I just
agree with
fucking
that.
finish? So clavicular is the perfect reaction to that, which is hopeful, right? Clavicular is basically saying, I'm going to like looks max, which is ironically like the perfect panopticon thing. It's the beautiful ones thing, right? Where he's like, I'm okay. You want me to look good? I'm going to look perfect. I'm going to look really good, right? Like, I'm not just going to look good. I'm going to look like perfectly good. But by the way, I'm also going to then like be a bad boy and like, maybe my face will look good, but my behavior will be, I don't give a fuck. But
well, I
think
I lost the sound again.
Sorry. I think the average Gen Zer, though, like, yeah, it's good that they have clavicular to be a model of how to be a rebel, like a little bit. But the average one of them, like, they have no ability to, they're just like fucking Chinese people. Like, they're just like completely surveilled. Like, every second of their lives is
I don't
like,
think they care about that anymore. I don't know. I think it depends.
No, I actually think Isaac's completely right. Like, dude,
Yeah,
if you
I don't
chart, but
agree.
now this is a different point about the Gen Z. Like, they are completely beaten down men. Like, and if you chart the Gen Z life experience, it was you turn 17 and Me Too starts. So right when you start having the hardest boners of all time, the Me Too movement is happening. You can't date anybody. You can't grind on anybody at a party. You can't do shit. Then you get a little older. You're like 20, 21, 22. You're
Bro,
like,
you
finally,
couldn't
okay,
grind on
shit's maybe
chicks
going to get
Hold on,
normal.
Denzel, you couldn't grind on chicks because of Me Too?
You would go to jail. They were telling
did
you,
you
if you
ever
grind on a chick, you
chick?
go to
Did
jail.
you ever grind on a chick? Have you ever
I
grinded on a
was
chick?
lived in a culture of fear. I never could have imagined grinding on a chick.
Really?
Oh my
You've
God,
never
dude.
ground on a
No, I'm
chick
kidding.
ever?
I'm obviously kidding. I'm obviously
Did
kidding.
you ever grind?
Yes,
When did
I
you
obviously
grind? How many
grinded.
times have you grinded? Grinded.
Grundled. How many times have you ground?
How many times have you
ground.
ground?
But
You
and then you're
grounded?
just getting out of Me Too, and you're finally okay. I'm gonna figure out how to
I've
like.
been in Hadrian's area.
emerge
Hadrian, in
into
your
this-
hold on. Sorry, go
never
ahead.
mind. I'm
Sorry,
not gonna
Denzel.
finish my. Never
No,
mind.
sorry, Denzel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Denzel,
Go
shut
ahead.
up. Shut the fuck up. Let
I
the
know,
adults
sorry, dude.
speak, you fucking
Sorry.
12
Well, anyway,
year old.
then you get to college and COVID hits. So it's like your whole life, you just are getting blindsided at your most developmentally important moments.
See, this is what every fucking demographic does this. Like, dude, first off, 9/11 when we were like 12. Hello.
Yeah, but
McFly
that was
destroyed the world.
like cool. Like 9/11 was like sick.
You could
9/11
get
was
pussy
awesome.
from 9/11.
No, that's because that's the way we looked at the world. If 9/11 happened to Denzel, like he would cry and then he'd be like against America, probably. He'd probably be one of the goipers.
Internalized
I think I
trauma.
would rather have Me Too and
internalized
COVID
trauma. Sounds
than
like some
9/11.
internalized trauma,
You'd
dude.
be crying and going to therapy if you ever saw that shit, dude. We were sitting there like, yeah, let's fuck those people up.
Dude, I was so hyped on fucking 9/11. Dude.
It
was like one of the best days of my life, honestly.
I think the
I was like,
recession
it's
left
fucking happening. I was like, oh,
Wow,
finally.
Isaac, the legit dancing Israeli original.
I was dancing all through the fucking hallways.
Oh,
dude, on
geez.
9/11. I was
Why were you
I'm
happy?
Like, let's go, dude. Because I'm a fucking psychopathic vampire and I love violence and death. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was just like, fuck yeah. Let's fucking go. I mean, I wasn't happy that Americans were dying. It wasn't like I was like happy about that, but I was more
something's
like
happening.
Yeah, it was like something's fucking
Dude,
happening.
Isaac
I was like, finally, something happened.
Isaac, weren't
It
you
was
like
more like
18?
that.
Shouldn't you have gone to war? I love that you
Yeah,
just like.
dude, well,
"Nah,
no, I mean,
think I'm gonna go to
I was
college."
raised. That was not even the idea of going to war. I was raised to like with like plans on how to dodge the draft. Would it arise? My parents were like, "You're not gonna have to go. You have asthma. We'll go to Canada. We have a family in Canada." Like it was like there was a million ways in which I was not gonna go. So
Well,
I wasn't, yeah. Go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks.
I was going to say, adding on, I missed some because I keep dropping the call. But what Denzel was saying, I do think the clavicular, the unhealthy relationship with masculinity that has emerged in the shadow of that leads to like clumsy bifurcations. So you either get like total wusses or you get this like cartoon masculinity that only like a 12-year-old would believe in, of like Tates and claviculars and like it's like an extreme performative masculinity it's not balanced at all because they don't have like a sense of like how you could just be like Robert Mitchum or something. Or
You
Lee
guys
Marvin
don't watch
or like,
Clav. You guys aren't Clav watchers. This is why
he's a fan autist. What are you talking about?
I'm
He's a little girl.
100% pro Clav. Let me just say,
he
I am
makes fun of
pro
himself.
Clav. I like
doesn't
Clav.
think he's
I'm-
he doesn't think
I've
he's
never
masculine
watched
at
him.
all.
I've never heard him speak one word in my entire life, but I like him. I'm 100% pro Clav. I think Clav
There's
is
no
sick. I think he's great.
masculinity bit. Like
Yeah,
when
no,
people
I think
saw
he's
that
dope.
video of him
I think
like
he's dope.
getting tackled in like citizen arrested, they're
Yeah.
like nobody ever tells you like how hard that is to do, like to like fight somebody in 3-inch lifts. Like he mostly he makes fun of
No,
himself.
dude, he's sick. I'm
wears
so
makeup.
down with Clav. Like I think
Wears
Clav is like a
makeup.
great. I think he actually is a great example of masculinity because he is
Doesn't
an
care.
example of saying "fuck you." Like you said, like he experienced his parents being insane and doing this bullshit graduation on Zoom, and he was like, "Fuck that!" Like these people are fucking
Yeah,
idiots.
and I don't think it even
And
was his parents.
He's
I
like a
think it was just,
legit
like,
rebel.
adults.
He's like
Yeah.
an actual rebel. Like he's like a real life rebel. And it's so refreshing to see. So I'm 100% pro Clav. But of course he's immediately being bought by fucking Teal.
But
who's
that
gonna
is
be like,
why
"Suck my
he
dick."
is. But that's why he's so big and has so much influence, is because the kids watch him and go, "Oh, dude, Clav is just like," because he is there. Like that's why Nick did really well for that generation
Yeah.
that's slightly above. And I do think there is a difference between a 20-year-old right now. Like if you're a teenager into like 25, I think you're in a slightly different bracket than the average right now, 25 to 35-year-old. I think those are just, you're in that tweener millennial Gen Zer, and I think you're talking about the older era. But at the average teenager to 19-year-old, the 20-year-old, the 22-year-old, they are so nihilistic and so counterculture at this point. And they're like, these guys are legit Nazis. They're legit Nazis. Like we were the wannabe Nazis. These kids don't care. They do not give a fuck at all.
Well, I think also
about
the
all the
Gen
nonsense.
Z thing that you're talking about is like this phrase from first principles becoming popular, I think is really key. Because it's like with the maxing stuff, with Clav, with all these Gen Z people, again, it's like the trust you had in all these systems, like the economy and education systems and jobs, like all was completely shot. So now they're like rebuilding everything from autistic first principles. It's like all the maxing shit, all the online language. They're rebuilding language from first principles. Like all these new words and terms and ways of speaking, you know.
Look,
I was just
I
learning
don't
today
hate
that
Clav.
language and psychology.
I don't
are
think
the
he's
same
like
thing.
a rotten person or something. He's a bit autistic for my taste, as we've heard me talk about. Like just generally don't vibe with that. But I also don't think that his audience respects him per se, or like I think that live streamers like him are essentially circus geeks. Like they're doing something extreme and people are watching, do like, wow, he's gonna smash himself in the head with a hammer. I would never do these things, but it's like fun to watch and they think he's funny.
Wait,
And like,
Hadrian, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you, growing up, ever grind on girls?
I mean, not really. I was a late bloomer, so
No,
like,
but I'm saying, did anybody?
yeah,
Is
people
there grinding?
sure. Yeah. What do you mean? Like, yeah, of course.
So in your era, there was grinding.
They're still grinding.
No, I
How old
know.
is
I'm just
Hadrian?
saying.
Hadrian, are you old?
No, I mean-
Are you an old troon?
Yeah, I'm an old
He's
troon.
an old
Yeah.
trend.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, when did grinding start? Because I was a full wigger, so for me, grinding was what we did from an early age. But
Well,
I
it's
just
true
wonder,
for
like,
me.
what
I mean,
time?
isn't that just foreplay? What do you guys like? It's like
No, grinding like at the dance, like at the
Oh,
dance, the
oh, on the
school
dance
dance.
floor,
Did you
sure,
grind
sure,
at the dance?
Yeah.
Wait, Denzel, we talk about the same? I'm not talking about
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, I
Dry
know what you
humping and
mean.
grinding are completely different.
No, I know what you mean, and you're right. Like my generation, we weren't really grinding.
You guys,
Right,
well,
like-
no, but so you guys didn't grind at the dance.
There
There's
was.
no
I mean, I'm
black
not going to say there was
people-
not a single ground
Aren't
happening,
you
but
from Tempe, Arizona? Are there any black people there?
well, maybe that's part of it. There's literally not a single black person there.
Yeah,
So
you
that
got to
could
kind of
be
have
it.
black people to make grinding
I've
happen.
been grinding since 6th grade, dude.
Yeah,
But I'm
there's
telling
a
you,
lot of
dude,
grinding in the black community,
when we were
and
teenagers,
therefore the white community, because the white community kind of copies what they do.
We did everything they did.
Yeah,
you would have to ask for consent to grind. Like that
See,
was
this is
what killed
interesting.
grinding.
really. You had to ask
Yeah,
for
you would
consent
definitely-
to
No,
grind.
Dude, my
fake.
generation,
Dude,
if you're
consent
17,
to grind.
18,
Y'all were
dude.
not asking
Great
consent.
title of something. Consent to grind.
In
You
high
would have to
school,
say-
you were asking
We should have a
consent?
coffee shop called Consent to Grind.
What about dude, that's actually like that's something Daily Wire should invest in that for like a pop-up like one day. I don't know why I'm saying Daily Wire. It's kind of gay, but like, you know what I mean? It's like such a good right-wing bit, like for the boomers.
Yeah, we would do that. We'd say, "May I grind on you? Would you
May I
mind that?"
grind? May I have this
Consent to
grind with you?
So good.
Yeah,
did
I think
not.
grinding was like kind of a place. And I think like grinding is peak millennial.
We rape ground all the time.
Yeah, we were grinding a lot. There was a
Grind
lot of
rapers.
grinding, dude. Well, so much grinding.
Grind rape. But
Yeah.
I think this is interesting. This is when like it's hard for me. I might get, not that anybody's watching again, but full right wingers, like at the middle school dance, like what they want is like the white kids doing like
Yeah, square
Confederate
dancing.
ring dancing or something.
Yeah.
Swing
You
dancing.
know, from like antebellum 1800s or something. Right, not even like two-step because that's like too modern or something. It's like the true right wingers are like, my
Dude,
white kids
they want
will
them.
will never dance
They want
to
them
rap
doing
music.
what that dance that Pete does in Mad Men with his wife at the wedding. That's like,
Something,
You know what I
like,
mean?
right? That would be too much, I think, for like most of like the true right wingers that at least like I come into contact with on Twitter. They're just like, oh, like, what do you mean? Like, why do you even like? Why would you live anywhere where there's black people that exist at all? And they're like, I get it. I'm with you ultimately, but I would like to like. I don't know. Maybe this is like maybe this is sort of like just cope because I'm so like zogged out and I am a millennial. But there is something to just like, you guys are fucking nerds, and like I just like hanging out in the city, and I like fucking eating shit like spicy food, slop. Like I like that shit. And I don't know if that makes me a faggot, but like I would get really fucking bored in rural America except for Louisiana, because like
Yeah,
that's kind of like it's kind of
No,
wild.
that's
Like,
the worst part about conservatives is when it's sort of just like a risk aversion, fear based. Like it's just like, oh, I don't want my food to be like weird. Like that's
well,
the
not
shit I
only
really
that,
hate the
and it
most.
kind of goes back to and it's not only that. It's I think there's
Like
something
I'm
funny
curious.
that
That is the classic. That's the old school liberal idea. Is like open to
yeah.
new experience. Like yeah, I'm curious about people. I'm curious about food. Curious about places. Like people are like, I don't want to go to that neighborhood. Or whatever. I'm just like, God, you're so boring and so like pussy.
No, but
Just
what's even
really.
worse is like those dudes on Twitter are like people that actually don't live within 300 miles of a black person, anyways. And I'm just listening to them on Twitter talk about like yeah, dude, LA is like a violent shithole and New York's a violent shithole. But at the same time, like, brother, like
where are you else?
you are living in fear thousands of miles away from this fantasy world.
Also,
like,
dude,
you have no impact and you have no movement.
Yeah, they act like cities historically weren't always 100% diverse. Like if you went to Athens 2,000 years ago, it would have been hella black people there. Like the thousands, like
some
for real
around that, but yeah,
no, there definitely would have been. Dude, I read that book. There's a really cool book called by the guy who found I Am Livingston. The explorer Richard Stanley, I think. So this was in the exploration age. And this was like, middle 1800s maybe, or like late 1800s. And, obviously completely before any politics at all. And this guy goes through the Congo and finds another explorer who got lost. And this guy, Richard Stanley, was like super fucking based. Like he was a journalist, like a complete, so racist, like flagrantly fucking racist at every step of the way. And he goes and finds this like much more like effete, like sophisticated explorer who got lost and like taken by the tribes. And he goes and finds him and like saves him. It's great. This is Richard Stanley, I think is the fucking name of this. He's the guy. He's one of the great explorers.
Stanley and Livingston, yeah.
Yeah, Stanley and Livingston, exactly. And so it's a great fucking story. This guy, but Stanley is like totally the like thug, like low class guy. And Livingston's like the high class guy. And Livingston gets fucking lost and Stanley has to go save his ass. And Stanley has this great diary where he's making his way through Africa and he shows up in that era in Zanzibar. Fucking Zanzibar, which is like an island or something. I don't know. It's in Eastern Africa, in fucking middle of nowhere. And it's like a thriving, huge city. And it's the same exact fucking thing as today. There's white people at the top, there's Indians in the middle, and there's black people on the bottom. And he just talks the entire time about like these fucking Indians keep trying to swindle me. The Indians are being mean to the blacks. The blacks are complete fucking retards, it's the exact same fucking thing as today.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then there's like 5 white people around who like are fucking morons. And like, they're like just getting taken advantage of all fucking day. And so it's the exact same fucking thing. And that's Zanzibar in like 1850. Like it's always been the same fucking thing. These cities,
that's what I think about New Orleans is like New Orleans is that sort of like, this has always been exactly kind of how fucked up and retarded it's always been.
Yeah.
And so
right. Yeah.
It's weird. That's why
really
when you meet like people whose families have been here for generations and generations, like thousands of years type shit, hundreds of years, like you can't get them to do the lowbrow racism that like I think is funny. Like they just won't. It's not a thing that they do. It's like it's not a good bit to them because they're just like, dude, we've been doing this like for so long. And that's why I don't know. There's something about this, like the Twitter, like I'm fighting the revolution.
Yeah,
you guys need to fight back right now. And I'm like, by tweeting about it.
It's also like you're never gonna do anything. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like these guys are never gonna do shit, man.
I think Nick Fuentes, I think, just had a rant on this. Maybe that's why I'm being more. Why I probably have such a strong opinion on it, but I see it constantly. And then people will call me like a race mixing mongrel, and I'm like, I am. For sure, all of that. But what are you? Are you just like a white dude in Alabama that's like preserving the white race? Or are you like just like a random human being not doing anything? I don't know. It bothers me.
I completely agree, dude. This is why I'm just so sick of like all this shit. James Pogue is weighing in the comments. Are you guys seeing James Pogue's? Are you guys seeing James Pogue's comments?
We need to get James in here.
James Pogue has been gone for like, he just does this thing where he disappears for 3 months at a time and then comes back. I'm glad he's back. Glad to see Pogue. We need him. We need friends, man. We're getting, our traffic is completely destroyed by bad actors. So we need friends to help us.
Last time, the first time I think I met James, it was just him and Sarab Amari were talking and using big words, and I was just smoking cigarettes and just telling them how fucking wrong they were about everything. I think
first time I met James was in Tijuana, Mexico, for a business trip.
He had to finish his book.
Yeah.
We should have James on and talk about his book right now. James.
Yeah, no. Well, do you want to do it right now?
Why not? We got a freaking hour we got to kill.
We just lost Hadrian. James, do you want to come on?
That's a complete lie.
Well, come on the podcast then. Litigate it.
What's he saying? Litigate something?
Oh, yeah. There was a 3-hour seminar on Andrew. Wow. He remembers that. This is exactly what it was. Fantastic. I do remember that. We were talking about planters and pre-Civil War stuff, and I was stealing from sandbags.
You're definitely a guy, Harrison, who like you love going to conferences and like talking to people. You're like a guy who talks to people for like a lot of time. And you're also a guy who, if you see a celebrity, you will go right up to them and be like, "Oh, what's up, man? Like I'm a huge fan."
Yeah.
Like you and I were in a hotel lobby in fucking Arizona. It's funny because Denzel like totally did not like show up for this. But and you were like, "It's Chuck Liddell. It's Chuck Liddell." And then you would kind of like stand around and like look at Chuck Liddell and be like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan. What's up, Chuck? What's going on?" Like you like go up to every celebrity.
I do have to be drunk,
I'm a
to be
huge
fair.
fan. Yeah.
But when I'm
but you're like that
jovial
guy who like goes to like you
dude.
like talking to every famous person in a given.
Yeah, when we were at Buttersworth's, you did that also to that dude we were sitting next to. You were
the New York Times guy.
Yeah, the New York Times guy. You just immediately were like, "Hey, dude, what's up, dude?" That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like just hardcore.
I was pretty hurt.
Eye contact.
I was hurt my nose at that party.
Hurt my nose. Yeah, I got injured. I hurt my nose.
Digger rehab. So yeah, it was. We got to do more of that. We got to get James Pogue is a good one. He's in a
he's a great one. He's a friend.
What's he doing?
He's a
what
friend.
Kind of meetings does
dude,
he
what's
have?
happening right now is that we're just dealing with a like. This is so typical. We're dealing with like if we had wanted to hypercharge our traffic, the thing that you need is all these like middle crust people, right? And what the middle crust people are so good at doing is they help each other. Middle crust people help each other. That's what you fucking know. What you guys? Do you know?
Why don't you just say goy? Why don't you say the goy cattle?
The goy cattle help each other.
New word drop for the goy cattle. The middle crust.
Middle crust.
The middle crust. The Middle Earth. It's Middle Earth.
New slur drop for the goys.
The hobbits.
The hobbits. It's Middle Earth. They're from Middle Earth.
Yeah.
The Middle Earth people, they help each other, man. They cling to each other. And the thing is, like on Twitter, if you wanna like have your shit supercharged, you have to deal with that like middle crust of fucking people, you know? But the people at the top, we're not talking about you, James. We're saying you're upper crust. We're saying that you're on the top of the crust. We're not talking about you. James, we got our shit fucked up because people came after us. We had a lot of success early on, and then people came after us. And so
we're still having success, dude. We're still completely dominating.
Well, we are again now. It's starting. We're starting to come out of it. You can tell. You can tell it's thawing. But my fucking shit traffic is like killed. Who's Jixiah M? middle crust type of motherfucker.
Total middle crust user.
So middle crust, you can just fucking tell.
Very middle crust coded.
Such a middle.
He's the OG. He's eventually going to be our YouTube expert.
Who's Josiah?
Josiah Moody.
Dude, I'm fucking down to be a liberal. I'm so sick of being right wing. I don't want to be right wing anymore at all. I'm like so ready. Like, just take me.
Yeah.
Take me.
I could tell. I think when you turned was when you realized that black women are better employees than white men.
Dude, once goys started fucking being such bad employees, it's like I was just like, man, fuck this. Fuck this whole thing. This whole thing is fucking lame. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'll always be right wing. You know why I'll always be right wing? Because right wing is the losers. And I will always be on the fucking side of the losers. I will always be on the side of the fucking failures and losers.
Yeah,
no
you got. It takes character to support a loser. You got to do it. That's why I'm a Redskins fan.
Yeah. I think they're not called that anymore.
Yeah, but
dude, we were just in Fairfax. Fairfax. You've never been to Fairfax, though.
Me?
Yeah, no, they don't let Goy Puerto Ricans.
I was born in Fairfax. I grew up in Fairfax County. I'm born in Alexandria.
Yeah, Fairfax County. You've never been to Fairfax. You've been
the city of Fairfax?
No, you've been like on the outskirts.
Oh my God. I've been to the city of Fairfax, which is like, come on.
We're not talking about Puerto.
The only thing that's
Are you talking about Puerto Rico?
There's a jail in like a tiny old town.
Do you mean Puerto Rico?
Are you talking about Fairfax, Puerto Rico?
No, Fairfax, Puerto Rico is. Dude, first off, Fairfax is basically El Salvador at this point. And I used to work in city of Fairfax.
No, we're talking about Alexandria, dude.
Yeah,
have you ever been to Alexandria? No, you've never been to Alexandria. No.
Dude.
You've never been.
Guys, so it wasn't great when you went to Rocket Grill?
Dude, actually, Alexandria was great. Alexandria was a very pleasant surprise. It's a great
best city in the world.
Spot. No, Alexandria was really nice. So I did a road trip. I drove back to New York from Alexandria, and I drove through Annapolis first.
Pogue is in Alexandria right now. We were just there, dude.
Yeah, and I made like one wrong
Arlington.
turn.
Yeah, we went to the wrong. When we were really hammered, we actually went to the wrong Hyatt, and we went to the Arlington Hyatt, and we had to drive all the way to the Alexandria Hyatt. They really need to rename these fucking Hyatts. But anyway, all right. Sorry, what? I keep cutting you off, Denzel.
Oh,
anyway, so we're
today. A weird thing is happening today. I keep cutting you off. It's really strange.
I know. Hadrian,
I took a wrong turn driving like out of DC, and I could not believe the ghetto in DC, dude. It was horrifying.
It's not that bad.
I drove through some neighborhood where
you've never seen a ghetto in your life.
I don't think I have. I think that was my first time. I've never really seen the
Southeast DC is pretty bad, but like in the grand scheme of ghettos, it's like the highest class ghetto in America, probably.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I mean,
it was just horrifying. I was so scared, dude. And then I drove right through the ghetto into Annapolis, which is like
so you drove through you probably drove through PG County, which is a little bit iffy.
Yeah, and then you go to Annapolis, which is like white heaven. It is like the most white excellent
you probably got on Route 50
world.
And you drove through like northeast DC, which can be a little dicey.
So I do the thing where I do no highways because I want to see the street level. I want to see what's going on.
You're probably on Route
streets.
50 all the way across the Bay Bridge, and then you went to Annapolis or something like that, or it might be before the Bay Bridge.
And then I get to Annapolis, it's just women buying pottery and elegant old white people strolling in pinstripe clothes and sailing.
Old Town and Annapolis are very similar. Yeah, Maryland is basically the South. I think Pogue would agree with some of this. It's the South. In fact, Pinkerton, who is the Pinkertons were the original. I think his name's James Pinkerton. He had a group of people. They were the original FBI / Secret Service.
No, they were private. They were private.
Yeah, they were private, and they were hired basically.
I'm going to call the Pinkertons. The Pinkertons.
And they were hired to protect Abraham Lincoln on his inauguration tour. And in Baltimore, he almost got shot. They had a dude literally running through the crowd to go shoot him, and I think they caught him in the nick of time.
The Pinkertons got him.
Do you hate Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah. Are we gonna do this?
Let's fucking do it. We got 30 minutes left. Let's
I mean,
fucking
I could
go.
do 30
Let's
minutes on
fucking
Abraham Lincoln.
We got 45 minutes left.
I
love
give us
Lincoln.
the
I think
Lincoln.
the
Give us the
worst.
Lincoln.
I think the dumbest thing that the Republicans do.
Oh, now
James
Pogue wants
James
in.
can Pogue now. Send him the link.
Pogue in, James.
Isaac, send him the link. I don't have his contact info.
Pogue is like, I'm leaving the meeting. He's shit talking Lincoln.
Do everything around here.
Sorry,
James King, James King. I'm not going to reveal who that actually is. I'm trying to play the fucking Gavin McInnes talking about us. He won't come out of our podcast.
I sent you the link, so send it to James.
Okay,
but yeah,
I'm sending it to Pogue.
I don't like that the Republicans love claiming Lincoln, and I hate that they're always like, we're the ones that freed the slaves. It's like kind of the worst thing that ever happened to America, actually, was freeing the slaves. And then they're like, well, Lincoln wanted to send them back. And like that plan like really fell through by 1863. It wasn't really true. And then he was killed. He was probably going to handle things a lot better if he wasn't assassinated, but they were.
Can I ask you something though, Harrison? Like,
yeah.
If the South had won the Civil War,
yeah,
and they all kept their slaves, wasn't that eventually gonna, like, it's not? What do you think would have happened? It's not like there would have been slaves today.
I think slavery probably would have been done. Yeah, slavery probably would have been done within 5 or 10 years, anyways.
So what the fuck? So what's the point?
The issue was that the only way you could get money to run your farm was with loans usually from England. And the only way you could get that money is if you had collateral, and in slavery, slaves were the only collateral. Like your land had no value unless you had people to work it, essentially. So they would only give you money if you had slaves.
Interesting. But slavery would have been done anyway. Pretty soon.
Probably. It was also this whole issue of like, does it expand? Like cotton was going to grow really well in Texas, and he was dead. There was a good argument that he probably would have gone easier on the South than what happened.
Who was the president during Reconstruction?
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
It wasn't Grant.
Johnson. Grant was the president.
Well, Grant too. Grant as well. It was Andrew Johnson, then Ulysses S. Grant, and then it ended under Hayes.
Andrew Johnson, and then Ulysses S. Grant. Famous drinker, by that.
Yeah.
Grant drunk all day, every day, which I'm
well,
down.
not so much all day, every day, but has several stories of him getting hammered. In fact, one where he was blackout drunk in New Orleans, fell off his horse and like broke his leg, and it was fucked up for like a long time. And some people were like, damn, we're going to have to like, this dude's retarded. We can't handle this.
And also author, as drinking and writing, very close relationship, author of the best political memoir ever, I think. They say his book is the best political memoir of all time.
Perhaps.
People love that Grant
one.
memoir.
His wife owned slaves.
I read a little bit of it. It was really good.
Yeah, his wife owned slaves during the Civil War. Grant by Chernow's good. Grant was fine. Kind of represents definitely a sort of Yankee ideology. Came from not much. Ohioan, I believe. Could be wrong about that. Illinoisan, I think Ohioan. So all that being said, he went to West Point, obviously, and then fought in Mexican War, and then probably wasn't going to get into war at all, and then got into the Civil War, won Vicksburg, got Chattanooga, and then they brought him east, and then he basically ground down Lee with endless foreign hordes of Irishmen and Germans, and it's disgusting.
So the Irish and the Germans ended slavery.
Yeah.
In some sense.
Yep. And they hated blacks. Go watch, Gangs of New York. There's a whole riot in 1863, the draft riot in Manhattan, where about like 30 or 40 people died because they were like, why are you guys sending me to like kill these people? I don't care about black people. So
can you hear me?
Here we go. There we are. Wow.
He's back after a hiatus.
What's up?
What's up?
This is crazy.
How you guys doing?
Are you in a
doing
good?
Good?
I'm in it's called Workbox. I'm in the phone booth.
It's called the Goy Box.
It's called Goy Box.
I'm in
the
the
new
box.
brand.
There's like another guy in the same area. It's called like still. I'm not completely.
You have to share your Goy Box with another guy.
It's a half. You don't even have a full Goy Box. It's just a half.
We're just about to see the gas like slowly like drift down, and then he has to take his clothes off.
I have something important to say, which is that. Well, no, I'm in the pod. I'm in the little phone pod.
Wait, what do you have important to say?
It's actually not important. Hold on. I think there's echo because I'm playing you guys.
Your mic kind of sounds like shit.
No,
It's, like,
we can
really
hear
scratchy.
you though. You sound fine to us, basically. I mean, you sound a little far
really?
away, but
No,
Yeah,
he's popping back and forth. I'm not hearing it.
Oh, my
He's
connector.
not coming through
can
well.
hear him.
I guess.
I can hear. him.
I can switch to AirPods. I was trying to use the nice mic. Hold on.
Now maybe it's a little
that
better.
Okay, sorry, I got the connection box. No, it's not important. It's just that Grant grew up. Grant is from like 5 miles from my house in Cincinnati. And so he's not a Yankee, and you're wrong.
So Cincinnati is the
Appalachian.
Midwestern.
Would you call him an
line.
Appalachian man?
Yeah.
Or I guess Ohio
No.
Valley, River Valley.
Ohio Valley. That's exactly right. That's when we
Right.
had that seminar. That's where you were like, "What? Wait, was it the South or the North?"
Yeah. Okay.
And then Sarab got really mad because he was like in his bow tie, and he was like, "No, just pay attention. Like, hold on, we're telling you." That's when he and I became friends because we had a tiff.
Interesting.
So I remember that night clearly.
We smoked several packs of Dunhills. Is what I remember.
Yeah,
At Butterworth.
smokes
Ooh.
Dunhills. That's a thing.
Good cigarette. Good businessman cigarette.
It was
It really
very
is.
elegant.
When I'm in Africa, I always smoke those because they're like the only decent cigarettes you can get. And then sometimes you get them and they're like, because they're counterfeit, and like you take a puff and like half the cigarette like burns, like and like it just disappears really fast and doesn't taste like anything. And you're like, fuck. And you just bought a carton of that. It kind of sucks.
I just bought some Mexican parliaments, and they taste so much better than American parliaments. It's
Are they like?
unbelievable.
Did you buy them like they're counterfeited Mexican like Santee Alley parliaments, or they're like
No, I bought them in
the
Mexico.
actual I see.
I got them in Mexico, and just compared to the American parliaments, they're so tasty and good. They have that like nice tobacco-y taste, you know, with like that.
That's because they're made with the real cane sugar. It's not the
Yeah.
corn syrup.
Just like the Mexican
Okay,
Coke. It's the
right.
same exact thing, same recipe. You're smoking Mexican Coke.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
the microplastics. Yeah. Is Hestia still around? Is Hestia sponsoring you guys? Are you guys? Like,
Well, we're
yeah.
talking to him now.
Yeah.
So no, he's had
You're
all
like a
kinds of
Hestia like
difficulty.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's had all kinds of crazy stuff happen recently. Like all kinds of, I think Big Tobacco tried to like just clamp down on him fully. Like I think he got the full wrath of,
Wait, really?
Big Tobacco. Yeah, and so I mean he's still fighting the fight. And if I have faith in anybody winning any sort of fight, it's definitely David Slay. Like that
That's
motherfucker's
really-
not going to lay
That's
down. But
so funny because I texted him like a few months ago, just being like, "How's it going?" or something. I don't remember, and he was like, "It's great. We're in stores in Texas." And then I
so he
talked
is.
to like two reporters who were like, maybe he was like, "We're about to be into stores in Texas." But I talked to these two reporters who were like, "So, like some of these brands that were flash in a pan," and I was like, "Actually, Hestia has fully succeeded." And like they were like, "Okay, take it as a gospel." So I hope that I was helping him out. I might have been completely wrong, but
well, no, maybe he is. Maybe he's back. Maybe I gotta talk to him. But yeah, no, he was having like a hard time. They were shut down for like a little while, but I hope that they're still producing and they're back. That's great news. If so, I gotta check into that.
it's actually embarrassing. But this isn't a branding. This isn't like a right-wing cross promotion. I'm not trying to do this actually, but I got completely addicted to the Alp. And so the reason I'm in Virginia as opposed to DC right now is I had to come and find Alp as opposed to the French Velo. Or I don't know if it's French, but I get it in France. And then the Alp is so much better that I I rode a bike 7 miles to get here and then got stuck in the rain at a coworker.
Are you a former smoker? Did you get on the Alp as a way to quit smoking?
For sure. I mean, it was a whole thing because they didn't sell it in California. So I was like, I'm going to try this. I tried it, and it was like the only thing where I fully stopped smoking. And then my mom was sending it to me. And then she was like, well, I don't know. I looked, it's 9% nicotine. So stopped. And I was trying to get TaskRabbits to send it. And then I gave up and started smoking again. So I think I was smoking when I saw you guys in Mexico, and I had my last Alp. And then now you can get it like in stores and stuff. So if you just go on a road trip, you can get it. Like, I found it this like Mexican, there was one tin of it in a Mexican tienda in Del Rio. And I like looked on the, like find Alp here thing. And I went in and I was like, do you have the Alp? And they were like, what is going on? And they got really weirded out, and it was $11, but I got it. So that got me through Texas.
Yeah, dude, you one time gave me a like 8 the highest milligram of
that was
one
funniest.
of those after a dinner, and I literally was gonna die. I had to go immediately home. I was like, I just pooped.
I don't think
puked
you go
everywhere.
home.
It was just I cannot.
Because you were with, and
it was
you
insane.
Were with the young woman who you were yelling at not to marry a goy who got murdered.
Oh yeah, who did later got murdered. Not the woman, the goy.
Not the woman.
The goy was later murdered.
You were like mid-berating her, like he has a vasectomy, and then you just started started sweating.
No, and I literally was like, I am going to fucking die, dude.
To be honest, I still don't think that an unflavored Zin 6 was what threw you over the edge. I think it might have been the 6 bottles of wine.
Well, because when I smoke cigs, which is a lot, I just like, maybe I don't like, I inhale. I try to inhale, but maybe I kind of like don't do it all the way. You know what I mean? Like maybe I don't like really just put it all the way in. And this was just like total death.
Andrew Isker did that to me with like an 8 milligram or 6 milligram. And I passed out in Nashville in the bathroom, and a little Hispanic woman that was cleaning the bathroom came in, and she goes, "Oh, adios mio." And then they brought in like 12 small Hondurans from the kitchen to drag me out. It was like they were pulling out.
It's like Gulliver's Travels. It's the new Gulliver's Travels.
Literally, like I was this giant, fat, dead white piece of trash, and they were all like, "Okay," and it was just like Oompa Loompas carried me out of this fucking bathroom on the rooftop at Jackson 20 or whatever in Nashville. It was fun. It was the building you were staying in, I think, Isaac.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On that rooftop. But that is the Alps is that's a Tucker Carlson, Neil Patel creation.
Yeah, although it's actually, I mean, I guess they did it, but it's like one of these like Louisville small, it's like little tobacco company. It's the people who make maybe not Rizla. Yeah, Rizla. It's the people who make what's the rolling papers that have the French guy with the pipe and the little
zigzags?
Yeah, it's the people who make zigzags.
Zigzag.
So do you like Alp because it's an anti-Semitic product, or do you just not care about the fact that it's an anti-Semitic product?
But that's the thing is I was like, I'm gonna try an Alp. I've heard so much about this. I saw a scandal. RFK did it like in his confirmation hearing. No, I was at the Wagon Box actually, and Josh Centers had some, and I tried it, and then I guess Josh Centers wanted to promote anti-Semitism, and so he gave me the tin. And then I was addicted.
Wait, can we ask? You probably can't say, but you can definitely say no comment. But can we get your take on Tucker today?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tucker's like the greatest living American novel.
Wait, novel? What?
Yeah, I think Tucker's like on a journey that is like Melvillian in scale, and he's like. He's gone from like the versions of being who Tucker is now are like you're a regime functionary and you live in Cleveland Park and you have a nice life. Option 1. Option 2 is like your dad was Tucker's dad or Bridge Colby's dad, and you become Bridge Colby, and you're like, okay, everything's falling apart, and I'm gonna like try to fix it. Like I'm in this thing I was raised in this thing, and I'm gonna do this thing. And then you're Tucker, and you're like, okay, there's all this stuff that was a lie. Maybe everything's a lie. I'm gonna sort it out in like a complete messy girl fashion, like in front of everyone. And like, I don't know if he'll survive it. I don't know if we'll survive it, but like when he comes through this, like we're gonna have learned a lot. And like, this is not a defense or an attack on Tucker. I'm not trying to talk down to him. I'm not trying to say he's right about stuff. It's just like, if you look at the process of him being like, wait, hold on, how does it work? And like, just like him going, and there's like more that the hard thing with Tucker is that like there's stuff that he knows that he doesn't say, and you wonder why, right? So it's like the big story that everyone is living through is that in 1973, the Shah conned Nixon into being allowed to raise oil prices by nearly like 2.5 times. And that shut down our industrial economy. Chuds depend on the industrial economy. Chuds were destroyed. Chuds got mad. We developed a security state to control Chuds. Everything broke, and like America sucks now. That's the story. That's the fact of the matter. And then we did all this stuff to like basically get Middle Eastern oil people to send money back onto our markets, which made rich people who started voting Democratic, like it just kept rewarding them more and more. And the way you keep that system going is by fucking the heartland of the country more, because the more you devalue the economy, the more you can funnel assets back into the markets, right? There are the assets coming back. Now I sound like Tucker, but just the way it works is the bigger your trade deficit, the more capital comes in, the higher your capital account is. And so that makes all the coastal liberals and all the tech guys and everybody else richer. And so the logic of the system is heighten that contradiction. So the more you fuck the heartland, the more you make San Francisco, New York rich. And so like, that's the story. And there's a lot to that story, and it doesn't like really look good for anyone. And like Tucker has his version of recapitulating it. But the thing is that like in 2012, no one knew it really. Like everybody just kind of forgot that happened. And like we made a lot of money doing that stuff. And so everybody was like, the only result is that Ford plants closed. So like, it's not that big of a deal. That was the story of the Obama thing. It was like, we're going to help you guys. But like, really, we can't help you because like the logic of this thing is we just keep doing that. And everyone got mad. And that's what like Steve Bannon basically got Trump elected by doing in 2016, that like closing argument thing where he said this stuff, but in like super incendiary language. He was like, it's a global conspiracy, which is sort of true. And so my point is that everyone who kind of figures out their lens on like why that happened and who's at fault and why everything went bad, like retells it through a frame that then like makes the thing they want to have happen like more likely, right? And like it's literally true that like Israel, used this situation in ways that were very nefarious. Like, so that's one lens on it, right? Like I want America to go back to being like a Jeffersonian place where instead of like in the capital structure, the actual real political fight in America is always like, since Hamilton and Jefferson, it was like, do people who take large risks and deploy a lot of capital get the rewards, or do people who exercise thrift and hard work get all the rewards? And there's been a push and pull throughout American history. Just since that system came into being, there's only been push, there's been no pull. And there's a lot of people who just like want to make sure that it stays that way. That's
that's kind of an interpretation of Chihuahua only swims left.
Literally.
Kind of, right?
And like,
yeah.
And so like the whole AI story, like no one even understands this because they don't understand how our system works. But like every time you listen to the All In pod and it's like, are we going to keep rewarding the creators? Or are we going to like make socialism? It's like, well, no, the actual thing is like, are we going to stop having infinity fake money that flows in more metro areas, like that made your life possible? Yeah. And like, they don't want that to happen. And so you have to keep like churning this thing. And so we have to fight this war because like 50% of the assets that are 50% of the assets like funding the data center build out come from the Gulf. So like if we lose the war, like everything goes away. So everything's like connected into this thing, right? And then people are going to retell it. So like I could be like, look, it's the endless wars. That's what did it. It was always about the endless wars. It was defense industrial.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Right. Like,
dude, this is a great take. I hope you're fucking writing this somewhere. But this is amazing.
Don't stop.
Yeah, no, really good.
Right now.
No, but I do want to know where is Tucker? What is Tucker's? What is his outcome? What is his?
I mean, my relationship was falling apart like all around me because like every time Antonia's like, so like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, like we go to dinner, like look at the beef prices. That's because of the assets. And it's like I'm living the same thing. So I'm saying like Tucker's doing it in front of everyone, right? And he's like, and that's I'm like very sympathetic to that because you're like I talked to him. I don't think he'd mind if I said this, but I texted him like months ago being like, what's your take on Besant? And he called me like immediately. And we talked for 3 hours.
Wow.
And it was interesting. I don't really want to repeat the conversation, but it was like very easy to talk to him. It was the first time I'd actually talked to him on the phone, and I don't know, like I still get nervous sometimes when you're like a famous, you're like, okay, like let me do it in an hour. Like you want to like get this famous person, you know, I still get that. And it was like, it wasn't at all crazy. It was like talking to a very, very easy to talk to, very smart person. And I asked him, I think it's fine to say this. I asked him like, so what, like, okay, so right, there's this realization point where you're like, this is not a republic, this is an empire, fine, whatever. And like, it's funded by all this stuff. And like, just like a lot of stuff you thought, like the capitalism, like you make money by like working hard. Like that's not true. And like
yeah, that's definitely
not go up because of like the stuff that with the value. That's not true. Okay, fine. But then you're like, so like why did we do that? Because that happened kind of like after 1945, and there was a reason, and it was like this thing that like, you know, his dad was like a part of, where you're like, well, we take on the burden of running the world, right? And so I asked him sort of like, that's kind of the thing. Like if it was a conspiracy, like that's the conspiracy, and like who got together and decided that that was worth doing. And one option that then sends you into, you know, like pretty dark places, you're like, well, it's because the Jews made us, or like the Jews convinced us or something, right? And then there's like other people who are driven mad by Roosevelt, because it's like, which is like weirdly more true, but it's like Roosevelt and Winston Churchill made us, because they like got together and decided that that was the course to do. Like, and so like that was the thing with Martyr Made. He was like, he went on Tucker's thing and was like trying to talk about that, but kind of like didn't. I mean, I didn't listen to it, so I don't want to. Now people are gonna be like, I was defending Martyr Made on Mama's podcast.
No, I don't.
But I think that there's like another option where you're like, it's the guys who dress like everyone in the film The Good Shepherd with Matt Damon, which is actually quite a good movie for like, if you want to understand like really like what this thing looked like when it started. Like, and I sort of come down more on that, right? And so like that's like Tucker's dad. So it's like this Oedipal thing. I don't want to read too much into it, but there's, you know, like there's a thing where it's like he was raised in this, and then it's kind of like if you're in La Jolla, but you're around it. So you're like, you were around all these people who were doing this stuff where you like knew them, but you were in La Jolla, not Georgetown. So you didn't like really understand any of it. And like you
and your mom left you to go join David Hockney's entourage, you know?
Yes.
So that's an even, I mean, that was always my sort of hero journey with him, was his mom leaving to be like a gay member of Hockney, and his mom is the Wasp, and I think his dad is the Swede. So, you know, like, so I think he was like, you know, that was what his sort of inciting incident. But yeah, it's interesting. The dad story, I don't even really know.
Yeah, with the dad, there's something too with the Carlsons. I don't know if these are the same Carlsons, but there was a Governor Carlson of Minnesota whose mom, like they were so poor that the mom held the doctorate knife point to do like an appendectomy on like one of the kids or something. Like, so that's the other thing, right? Is like if you have this kind of like thrifty white Jeffersonian chip on your shoulder, in and around people who are like, we love to get rewarded for the risk and the capital deployment. Like, it just makes you insane. That's my experience at DC a little bit. And like, I'm pretty good at not going insane, or like, I'm pretty good at just like chilling with anyone. But like, I can like, I just go to places and I hear the way people talk like about the world as though it's so easy, and like there's something that just like breaks in your brain where you're like, no, it's built on the back of hard work, it's built on the back of do stuff, and you're like and like that, to me, that's like the whole story of the Trump movement. Not people don't even necessarily put it that way, but that's what people feel like. There's something, that's why everyone's like, we're gonna make it real again. That's what literally they mean. That's, they're gonna like make money correspond to work again. That's what that has always meant. And I think what has made people really insane, and Tucker above all, is that they got in, they were like, never mind. That part we weren't going to do. And that, like, literally part of that is Israel's fault. But it's just a lot of other people's fault, too.
Well, where does the populism come from with Tucker? That's what I think is interesting, because there's like, as he's workshopping a lot of this stuff in real time, I think that's what freaks people out. It's like, oh, you're no longer like a right-wing conservative. Now you're sort of like I'm a populist. It almost seems like first and foremost in some ways.
Well, but this is always the thing, right? Is like, it's functionally not possible to be a populist if you're right-wing in the sense that being a Republican from 1973 until literally today meant you are by definition like against the working class. It's just factually true, because your whole way that you think America should make money is to extract value from that and to encourage huge pools of capital to be in one place, which encourages people not to do productive investment, but to do rent seeking, which is why everyone's like, oh my God, our economy feels parasitic. It's like, well, right. It's because all of the money that you have is designed for parasitism. And like the same people who are like, we should stop doing that, we're going to do dynamism. It's like, you're not going to do that, because that would mean that you lost money. Like, what you want is the government to give you personally some money to do dynamism and do reindustrialize, but to keep everything else the same. And that's not going to work. And if it does, it's going to be communism. And that's what they're asking for. So like, that sucks. And like, Tucker doesn't want that to happen. So he's like, not a Republican, like, which is justifiable. Like, I'm just sorry. Like, it's just.
Wait, but say a little more about that. Like, what do you mean that they want everything to stay the same, but then they want to get money to do dynamism, but that's not the right solution? Is that what you're saying?
Okay,
like, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so like right now, if the stock market goes down at all, like to quote Jensen Huang, the world ends, right? And like the entire stock market is 7 tech stocks, and everything in San Francisco right now is just spin-off of like asset flows to companies like that, not necessarily those, because a lot of them are private, so you can't like the public can't even invest in them, but they're like, our economy depends on them. So everything like flows to stuff like that, and then it spins off to like whatever stupid, like, we're gonna make an AI glasses date rape thing, and like, fine, so it like drives a lot of economic activity. That's great. But so like, by definition, if like to build a fertilizer plant so that if America can no longer produce missiles to secure the Strait of Hormuz, like, you have to build physical infrastructure, and that infrastructure is a 30-year investment, and it requires physical labor, physical construction, and it pays off in 30 years at 5%. The market, to keep this going, has to keep going up at like 17% a year, and all these people have to keep like rolling it in, right? So how are you going to finance a fertilizer plant? Who's going to give you money when you can put it in the Mag 7 and get those returns? That's not going to keep working if you want to do the dynamism. So what everyone's doing is saying, well, the government's going to fund it, or the government's going to do incentives or whatever, right? So, I mean, I'm making it too simple, but like, what they're saying is, we're going to do communism. we're going to have state-directed military industrial communism to do the dynamism, because we can't do the dynamism by like making it possible for like us guys to like start a bar, because like that, it's the same process too. Like that's why every bar in America is profitable but has to close, because like the top of the system keeps getting more and more money, and so the wealth effect is just like 7 rich ladies who have huge asset inflation benefits every year, and so they're going to buy more handbags, and your bar has to close, so like you can make a block of a city with 1 Louis Vuitton store and 1 Dwayne Reed, and that is a better investment than 6 profitable small businesses.
Right,
and
right.
like it's just like there's a reason why this is hard to peel back from, and I'm sympathetic to that, and like I get it, and I think they, like, I know for a fact Scott Bessent had a plan to peel back from it. I also know for a fact that like it was actively impeded by all the fucking dynamism people who were like, fuck it, we're gonna do AI and that'll solve everything. It'll be a one-time productivity boost that will just get us out of this. And so like, you know, it's just because the first step to doing this is reducing our current account deficit, which involves reducing our federal deficit. And nobody wanted to do that, because if you reduce the federal deficit, that reduces liquidity in the system, that reduces the asset flows coming back. And so they were like, fuck that, we're not going to do that.
That was Scott Bessent's plan, you're saying?
Yeah, that was his 333 plan. And like they just fucked up Doge. They never took that seriously. Like, to be more sympathetic to those guys, like, okay, fine, like we were never going to find $1 trillion to cut from the federal budget. So like, how stupid could Bessent have been to think that 333 could have worked? Fine, fair. But like now, literally Dean Ball, who wrote the administration's AI action plan, said to me on the record, America is a leveraged bet on AI. Like that's the whole
thing. Damn. That's crazy.
And so like people don't get that when they're like, fuck data centers, but this is what they're talking about. They're like, I don't want to have my government backed asset inflation funding this thing that sucks and is going to kill me. Well, but also just like sucks because it's like everything these people have already given me is like rent seeking parasitism and like Google validation.
Well, what's funny is,
this shit anyway.
Yeah, I think you're in the bandwagon presented itself, and it was easy to get behind because it presented a vision of the next 10 years. And so it was easy to go, oh, well, guys, we're fighting China. We're fighting. It's almost like terrorism in 2001. It's like, guys, this is like the biggest existential threat. And so everybody jumps on board. And there's part of me that's like, hey, man, we need the data centers. You know, we need it. And I think it's like the same sort of that fear of like, man, we need to fight terrorism. Those guys could be anywhere. It's the same sort of thing. And so the industrial complex and the government is all in, and they're like, no, this makes sense. This is what all the smart people are doing. This is the smart bet. And we're all along for the ride. Yeah, I think that's like spot on.
The thing about it though, so maybe to defend the Trump administration here, like, okay. All right. The thing about that sucks is like people came in and they sold this lie that was like, if we get there 2 months before China, then like everything will change. And like that, okay, fine. Like I think that was just a flat out lie, but leave that aside for a minute. The average data center takes 6.5 tons of copper to produce. The United States mines some copper. We smelt effectively no copper. So and you can do this for every fucking metal you want. You can go to silver, tin, aluminum, whatever, right? Like, we don't really smelt stuff. If you look at the actual supply chains, not this stupid stuff that people do, which is like, oh, we're going to start refining rare earths, like it's going to be fine. No, I mean, like, you need a brass nut that goes on that specific thing that's threaded that specific way. And you need if you're going to replace that brass nut supplier in Vietnam or China, you need a factory that takes 10,000 more of those little kinds of parts. And you have to figure out a way to procure or build all of those. And that's like everything you have. That's your stove. That's anything. It's thousands upon thousands of supply chain substitutions to get anywhere with like bringing production back to the United States. And then you think about that in light of data centers. And you're like, dude, unless the one-time productivity boost is like, we go to the stars tomorrow, then like what we're talking about, like for America's future security, is something really different. Because if something slips in this thing, and like China probably won't invade Taiwan because they have the same problem. Like 80% of their energy and like 80% of their energy comes from somewhere else, I think, or maybe 80% of the liquid energy, whatever. Or like everyone there eats pigs and they don't produce any stuff, farm stuff. And that's why they're doing all the like rainmaking, like they're trying to cloud seed so they can have some livestock production. But like right now, if they invaded Taiwan, they would starve too. Everyone would just starve if anything goes wrong. That's the whole like sort of Strait of Hormuz thing. But like data centers don't do shit about that. And like anyone who really worried that we were going to get like a leg up that would never be bridged again would just hit that button because they'd be like, fuck that. And they could stop us in so many different ways with literally no effort. And so like the whole thing was, it does just make you wonder, like, did anyone do the math? Like, was anyone like this isn't like super hard stuff to figure out, you know? And so you kind of think like people did do the math and they just knew this was bullshit. And that's where you get, I don't really know. You know, I just got here.
We are at war with China, though. Like, have you read Unrestricted Warfare? Have you heard about Unrestricted Warfare?
Yeah, but
like we really are. Like it is true that it's not bullshit that China has been using every possible avenue to wage war against America for 30 years, almost. I mean, 25 years. And, you know, our mayor in Arcadia, right next door, just got shut down for being an asset. I mean, it really is. They really are waging war against us, like right now. They really are. And I'm not saying data centers are the solution to that. They're probably not. But it is true that it's not like China is not doing that.
Do you guys know the term geoeconomics?
No.
Sure.
Which welcome to extremely gay future. It's what Edward Lubac predicted would like shape great power competition in the future, and it's
great. Yeah, this is the new thing. We're in the world of great power competition. What is that?
I don't. The language of warfare through the grammar of commerce.
Yes,
because like
that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's too much interconnected, and this is the whole thing in warfare, right? Like people before World War I thought, like, well, no, everyone. Like the economies are too linked, like it'll cause a crash if they have the war, which was true. It just came later. So like there's a way in which that's bullshit. It's just now like I don't know. I'm trying not to sound like whoa really crazy. It's just like I started reading the reports that like guys, geopolitical analysts who were like super normie, who like consult for Louis Vuitton, consult for finance clients, like these guys, and it's like their middle range 10-year projection is like famine, new dark age. And you're like, okay, so
little dark age.
We're talking about like, data centers, like they're gonna like cure cancer. It's like no, and like they're not gonna cure cancer because there's no economic incentive to do that.
They're not gonna cure cancer anyway. They're gonna find ways to just extract value from like the 12 W-2 earners left in America. Like that's the whole incentive. And I'm with you. Look, I'm with you on that. I'm just saying I am not sold on AI at all. All I know is AI is the compound interest of SaaS. So it's like if SaaS was a bank that we already weren't too sure about, AI is the predatory loan on top of that because it charges you. People don't realize. We talk about this all the time. We argue about it because we pay for it all the time.
Right.
You don't know what you're paying before you do it.
Right.
So it's like healthcare. It's like, oh, I went to the hospital and I got my arm sewed up. Oh, that was $16,000. I had no idea. Yeah. That's how it is with AI too. You don't know what it's going to cost. So you're saying, oh, can I have my website do this? And then it'll be like, yeah, that was $47.50. You know, they send you like a random amount. It's just like compound interest. It's like, oh, I have a loan. It was like, look, we have this magical calculator that nobody can replicate. and you owe this amount
Well,
at the end of the month.
It's the scam economy. It's like it's like being a tourist in Morocco or something. It's like, okay, that rug is $6,500.
Yeah, that rug is.
Like,
oh,
no,
it feels like it's $74.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Like whatever it is.
Well, that is where China is going to beat us, though, because their tokens are so much cheaper for their models.
Well,
no, I'm
right.
serious.
I mean,
like by 10x. Like you have like Anthropic is like 10 times more expensive than the current Chinese model. I think
Chinathropic.
Well, like, okay, so
China's got a bunch of good AI models that are just as good as ours, and they're cheap.
Can we use them? Can we get them?
Yeah, that's what they do.
And that's the fear tactics that Anthropic and OpenAI are using. They're saying, I want more money from the government to basically subsidize the amount of compute that I need in order to make, because otherwise we lose to China and all of our businesses start using Chinese models. And half of those Chinese models you're basically giving all your data to China anyway. So you have to, there is the argument that like, in order to fight China, we have to open up all these models to the consumer, and our government doesn't really want that to happen.
Well, so, okay, then this is the end of my little like political economic tour of the world, because the thing I'm trying to explain is like, we're not a system and they're a system. We're two halves of a system. And like our half of the system incentivizes like parasitism, asset inflation.
Yeah.
Like,
and they have the slaves. They have the
consumption,
slaves that we
and
need.
their half of the system incentivizes like endless production and zero consumption. Basically.
Yeah.
Like that's like the whole point of how everything was set up. And I'm not saying it was set up on purpose like that, but after like 2000, it was completely set up like that because they saw the logic of the system and they were like, oh, cool. So like they'll have a massive like consumer demand sink, and we will design our system to like respond to that incentive. And so then we'll produce everything in the world. And then when you get to something like this, where it's like America, leader of innovation, because like I'm not anti-AI, that's not my point. But if you're like America, leader of innovation, but the innovation like suddenly, whoops, all of a sudden, like isn't just like somebody building like way more apps than other people and figuring out ways to like steal data more effectively than anyone else in the world can. When it's like the innovation is driven by actual energy inputs and resource inputs to build stuff so the innovation can happen more quickly, well, who the fuck is going to win? Because their whole system is built to produce stuff. And so like, that's why we have to like go to war to like take all the energy in the world. Because otherwise like that's the only input we have to control. Like other than like reducing our demand, in which case everyone in America will like lose their asset inflation and they'll be sad. So we can't do that. So we have to conquer Venezuela and we had to conquer Iran, and like, whoops, it didn't work. So now we're fucked. And like, now they're going to win the AI race because we can't control their energy inputs. Like, welcome to the world. Like this is like actually the stuff that I think that's what I was trying to say about Tucker is like, once you start talking like this, on the one hand, you're like, finally, we're talking about real shit. On the other hand, you're like, I'm a madman. And like, you know, and because of the way the media system's set up, like what people do is they go on, like Ro Khanna, you know, he's obsessed with this shit. But Ro Khanna, he goes on, he's like, well, the Epstein class, they really screwed over both working class whites and working class brown people. Yeah, because they don't, it's just too hard to go on and sound like a crazy person. And so they have to like come up with like jingo terms to like try to make you kind of mad about something you kind of don't understand. And Tucker's option is just to be like, everything's a lie, and I'll tell you everything I think about it. And you know, like the future of America is going to be like one or the other, or like everything's fucked. But like the future of America where we like come out of this system into something else is like either like the Tucker approach will win, or like a more technocratic Ro Khanna approach will win, and like things will like work. Like Ro is like, well, yeah, okay, we're like completely fucked with debt, but like let's just invest really smart, and then like the investments will bring growth like faster than the debt accumulates, so like everything will be fine. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess maybe. Well, technically everything you said is true. And then you listen to Tucker and he's like, think about it, it's over. So I don't know.
Well, do you think
was this helpful? Do I sound insane?
No, I think it's super helpful, but isn't 2028 battle lines are going to be technocrats and JD Vance and, you know, neocons in Israel and Rubio, it's looking like.
But I don't think that's right. Or
interesting.
Well, so okay.
And I guess my question, I think that is true. Maybe I'm wrong, but then I'm wondering how does DeSantis fall into that? And then like, what does that mean in 2 years? What are the ideologies that are, because the right has its fractures already. But
well,
like, I don't think Israel is going to be as big of a deal. Like the true, like, I don't think Dan Bilzerian is going to be a factor. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like the low IQ anti-Semitism is going to be as big of a deal as like what you're talking about.
Well, so like, it's hard because you have to kind of extrapolate out some trends here, and like some of this stuff could change, right? If Trump, I mean, he's not going to do this, but like, you know, because it's like every Friday at like the exact minute the market closes, he's like, we're going to fuck them up. And then Monday he's like, peace deal. Because it's like he's terrified of the market. Like, right. He just, that's the game here, right? But like, if something happens and like one of these idiots is like, I got an idea, like, you know, I'm in DC right now. It's on the TV right now. They're like asking everyone in the Pentagon right now, like, any good ideas to fuck them up. And like, if somebody has a really not great idea that seems to Trump like a good idea, and like this thing spirals, then like we're just talking about something where like America as we knew it could be like over, or like the world as we knew it could be over. Like, it's not completely that, it's not even like a weird thing to contemplate. Like, what happens if actually there just was a crazy 6-month period in the Middle East and everything we knew about the economy has just changed? If that's not the case and they manage to just like keep going with what they're doing, imagine like the anger and populism and like rising redistributionist AOC stuff now, but extrapolated out 2 years at a faster rate, right? Yeah. So like your chances of beating an AOC, to me, I'm like, who cares who wins? I just think it's like the most populist sounding Democrat is your odds on favorite right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be Newsom. We're going to get the Newsom Reich. I think there's going to be like a DSA insurgent who comes. Not as president. It's too early for that.
I think Trump win. I think they will win.
Trump was an insurgent that sort of tried to outflank.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. The insurgents do surprise win.
I think
there's going to be a leftist who seems reasonable, but is going to try and outflank from the left. He's going to, because if that person wins over like a Bill Maher, you know what I mean? That's like, I will never support a socialist, but if they get somebody in there who's like a sweet talker, but is actually a leftist, I agree. I think they'll be
there. But the person who wins the Democratic nomination is not going to be able to go on Bill Maher. Like
interesting.
The Grand Rapids, Michigan Democratic Party today, like, this just came out. They were hosting a fundraiser at the bar next door to their office. And the bar issued a public apology to the community for hosting Haley Stevens' fundraiser because they were like, we support Palestine. Like, that's in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Well, but Michigan, to be fair, Michigan has a hick lib. That would not happen in LA, for example. But, you know. Well, they have a hick lib problem in Michigan. That's the worst in the country.
It wouldn't happen in like the ritzy areas where you traffic now.
No, but I mean, it wouldn't happen. That just wouldn't. Nobody gives a fuck enough. Well, that's a hick lib. That's a hick lib thing to do that. Nobody cares.
I think you're crazy. I was down at those immigration protests. It was like war.
No, dude, I'm not saying that that's not all real. I'm just saying that.
But that's who drives it. And I'm not. This is not like an anti-democratic party thing. It's like that's who drives politics. Is the like 5% of people who are most energetic, and for a long time, the Democrats have just had the 5% of people who are most energetic be the music theater B+, like Swarthmore grads, and like that's going away.
Okay, so who's the new 5%?
It's the Zoran people.
It's the Zoran people. Yeah, I think that's right. I completely agree with that, and I
wasn't that Bernie?
The heat.
Like
no,
that?
but this is a new thing. This is a
like
new
that's
thing.
those people. Not, these are people who.
Yeah, I agree. I think
the
you're right.
Millennial generation that was elevated to do exactly this kind of politics. They were trained to do this kind of politics at the most elite schools, like in the world. Like it's just a different set of. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think people on the right underestimate how much, like, if you talk to a leftist about their view of the Democratic Party, it's so different than if you talk to a person on the right. Like, if you talk to a person on the right, they'll say, Zoran and the communists are coming and they're taking over everything. If you talk to, like, one of the DSA Zoran people, they're like, the DNC is a complete capitalist machine that, like, ices us out at every level. And, like, superdelegates are a great example where the Republican Party is set up where someone like Trump can take over because there's no superdelegates. So if someone just surges organically, they can take over the whole party. But on the Democratic side, this kind of happened with Bernie, where that 5% energy was really strong on the Bernie side, and they just crushed him with superdelegates and basically like gave Hillary the answers to the debate questions and whatever. We all remember those examples. And people on the left are like, yeah, we can never succeed in the DNC framework. You know?
I will say, I mean, I was at the last DNC. I was with Zoran during the campaign. I just think, they've had 8 years to plan this war. Like it's just a different scenario. This is when that happened in 2016, people were like, what the fuck? Like, wait, what? You can do that? Now that's what everyone talks about. Like, even like all these people who are like uncommitted delegates are, like they had to learn the system in order to be able to get to Chicago as uncommitted delegates. They know the whole thing now. And like, there's going to be people outside of superdelegates' houses being like, you support genocide. And yeah, I could be wrong, but I would be really surprised if there isn't, given the current situation where it's like the two most salient things in the party are like data centers and Israel.
Yeah,
and
I think it will be. I think
Gavin Newsom's going to come in and be like, we're going to do a couple tax credits to like make it easier to build apartments in Fresno. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I see it. I don't.
But Gavin knows this though. Gavin must know this, right? So he's going to figure out a way to come in and be that's what he does. That's what Gavin does. He's not going to play it centrists. He's going to play it far left, I think.
Yeah, but he thought Trump was going to do the realignment, right? So he already did that podcast where he brought on Charlie Kirk and stuff. And so so his tack to the left is going to be hard because he already made a bet on like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I do think that's what he's going to do because he smells blood and he's a shark, right? He's going to go to the blood.
But Democrats, that's like, they're just not like Republicans. Like Trump just wanted to be able to do corruption and like make a ballroom and like but he still let in Tulsi and Joe Kenton people. Like he's still like I'm quoting I'm quoting a lobbyist very close to the administration when I say that. He was just like, everyone screwed everything up because like it was just supposed to be corruption and like gold leaf, and like everyone made it into this other like philosophical thing, and like it like made the administration really hard. My point being that like Republicans I'm kidding. I'm just saying they still let in Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard and like RFK to like build a coalition and stuff. Like Democrats don't really do that. Democrats are like, you said the president's old, get out. Like what? And then like it'll be another thing. like it's not this thing of like, oh, Newsom, like he wasn't our guy, but he tacked this way. That's not really how the party works. It's not.
So
really
what do
how
you
the-
mean though? Like how does it work? Like how will it handle that?
It works as purity tests.
Yeah, okay. So he will not be pure enough.
I don't think he will be pure enough for like what's coming.
Wow.
He's pure enough for like
That
sports
seems like a
autograph.
flaw though, more than anything. Right?
Well,
That seems like
been
a more
huge
like a negative.
Huge strength for Democrats for a long time, and now it's going to be a flaw.
Now
Because
it's going to be a
the
flaw,
people
right?
rift, Yeah.
Yeah, because they're too far. They're a little too far.
And Trump's not going to be on the ballot.
Well, and they're not going to have the Jew money. And the Jew money is a lot.
It's going to be worse. No, it's going to be worse than that. There's going to be pro-Israel money backing someone, and there's going to be a temptation on the part of people like Newsom to take it, and then you're going to have.
He's too smart for that. And also, by the way, the Jews are way too smart for that. They'll launder the money through things you could never even imagine. Like it won't be obvious. It will definitely not be obvious.
You guys gave Barry Weiss $300 million.
Excuse me, it's not you guys. By the way, it is absolutely not you guys.
For me, it
it's for Denzel. Yes, not
Mama's
for
Magazine.
Me. I'm on the side of America first and only. I really am. I know people don't believe me, but it's really true. So no, I do not give a fuck about that.
Yeah,
All I'm trying to tell you is they will find a way to give money to Newsom and not have it be that.
But it's just they're running out of rope with that, dude. Like it's like, okay, we're gonna.
How are they going to find out? They won't. People won't be able to find out. It'll be some random pack, you know.
People saw the Barry thing. People saw the Thomas Massey
well,
thing.
of course, because
people see that like
yeah,
David
those were
Ellison
obvious,
is gonna buy all of Hollywood and have it be like.
But what is the what did the Democrats do though?
Rabbi super.
But somebody's going to take that money, right? Like the James Carville and like those groups.
That's going to be a poison pill, and that's going to be tough.
Wait,
but I think
Harrison,
the
what were
on
you
the
just
right,
asking?
right?
What were you just asking?
Well, no, I'm just saying like somebody, like he said, somebody's gonna have to take it. It's just hard to turn down money. And on the right, Adelson money.
Yeah, it'll probably all go to the right
money,
because they are dumb. They are dumb. The Israel money is dumb. You forget they're mostly brown. They're mostly brown people. They're not very smart. Like they really don't know what to do in most instances. There will be really, really, really smart ones though who end around to. They will figure out how to end around to Newsom. They'll figure that out.
Isaac, I just think you're operating in a paradigm that's not gonna be. This isn't gonna be the way that stuff worked before is not how this is gonna go.
Okay, so even take all this. Even if the Jews do not figure out how to give money to the opposition, they will at the very least not give money to the DSA, right? Like it's all the kids of the Jews that run the DSA.
Well, Soros.
Their dads are not going to fund that shit. They're not going to give the money to it.
Dude, Jewish money is not monolithic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But now
So
it
I
is.
think
Now it will
So
be.
Israeli money is.
But now it's going. But now Jewish money
Pro-Israel
is
money,
going to be.
sure, but that's like only half.
I don't
of the Jew
think
money.
any of these
Soros?
fucking Jews are going to give money to the left anymore. I think they're going to take.
Soros-
I
Yeah,
just think
you're
you're crazy to think that's gonna matter.
Soros.
Like this is not.
I don't know. They're pretty good. They're pretty good at this stuff. I mean, you're right, but you're right. Maybe it's done. Maybe it's
your
over.
point.
So
I would
Ronnie,
argue
like,
that
you
the
take
idea of the money spending. I would agree with like the massive budgets that are going into campaigns now. It is not the same as when the channels were more consolidated. I think it's harder now you can spend all the billions you want. I think you were going to still struggle if you don't have.
Yeah, guys, we're forgetting that like Kamala outspent Trump like massively. None of this really matters that much anymore.
Yeah,
the sort of like
I
super
do kind
PAC
of agree with
Citizens
that.
United world where elections are decided by, these
Money.
like
You think that's
check.
not going on
donors.
anymore?
That's
Yeah,
over.
that's interesting.
You know,
But you're just
it
you can
matters.
throw
in
all the money you want.
Republican- Yeah, it matters in Republican. This is actually true. Like JD said this to me once. He was like, you'd be surprised how many votes in Ohio are just swayed by like how much money you have, because there's a lot of boomers who still watch TV, right? But in a Democratic primary, I just don't like.
Oh yeah.
I don't see that. I think that's gonna really that was, 22. He was saying that we're gonna be 6 years of, broadcast TV like declining, and we're gonna be in a position. I mean, like, people are gonna be so hungry to win this thing. It's gonna be against a weakened Republican Party. It's gonna be a bloodbath. You're not gonna have like a clear front runner.
So, Pogue, it sounded like a little bit ago you almost were saying like you thought Tucker might run, or that was like on the tip of your tongue. Do you think he would be a good foil to this new Democratic alignment in 2028?
Well, the wild card here is like if people figure out like what this thing is, right? Like the wild card, because like the DSA thing, it's like I'm sympathetic to it. I tried to put this in my Zoran piece, and everyone said I was like an apologist for him. I'm sympathetic to like the job of politics right now is like people don't really understand anything about how things work. So like you need to do like an establishment replacement by any means necessary, and like they have their path, and it's almost like fine, just do that. That's cool. Like just keep doing that for a while, and then like something will be better. I almost don't even think like it matters who it is. But like they can't do any real stuff because like AOC, there's this great moment where AOC went to the Munich Security Conference and was like, so we got to make sure to keep the liberal international order going, but we got to save the liberal international order by making it more fair. And it's like, oh, the liberal international order is the dollar. Like the whole thing that makes it not fair is like what the order is. So like, if you don't understand that, then you're not going to do any stuff. You're just going to like spend more money, and then it's going to the inequality is going to keep going, and everything is going to keep sucking. So that's not a left or right thing. What could happen, and what is happening right now because of Iran, is a bunch of people in politics are figuring out like, oh, like the left-right stuff is just stupid. Like this is not actually the problem. And like in so much as and I don't mean that as like woke is fine or woke is bad. It's not the point. The point is just like big government, free market distinctions are not our problem. Our problem is state capital alignment and the use of the military to preserve that. And so if someone like a Ro Khanna, like a Tucker, was like, I'm running as a guy who's like, the left-right stuff is over. It's a relic of the Cold War. We're running against state capital alignment and the military-industrial complex. Could that person win? Honestly, maybe. Like that's the wild card in everything. Is like, depending on how bad this goes, depending on if like there's a big rubber stamp saying like the United States lost a war, that every single person in the establishment of the United States on both the Democratic and Republican side supported, and it caused massive global poverty and huge economic disruption in the United States. What happens then? It's hard to say, right? And so, like, I think there's a very good chance that there will be some kind of version of that, maybe not as extreme as what I just described, but something like that in the air, in which case, to me, like, the idea of a Gavin Newsom running is absurd. I don't know what JD will do. I think JD's really good at doing this thing where he just has a long game. He has a really long game. And JD's really mad about the stuff that I just talked about. And he's really, really good at covering up how mad he is. And he's really, really good at winning elections that you kind of think he wouldn't. So there's a part of me that thinks that there's like a lane where, no, it's not going to be Tucker. It's going to be JD who talked to Tucker and said, let me do this. Let me talk to Ken Griffin. Let me talk to the Jews. Let me talk to everybody. Let me run as a kind of populist, but a pro-AI guy, and let me get in. And the promise will be that then he hits a button and all of it goes away. And I wouldn't discount that possibility either.
Well, what is that button? What's like step one of the button?
I don't know. Because like it's like what step one of the button is what they're doing right now. Like step one of the button is like you take over the Fed, and you bring the Fed back into alignment with imperial reality instead of like infinity fake money is how we drive the economy, and they're already doing that. And I don't know how much people know that. I think part of why Besant has been successful at maybe like there's just more stuff changing at the Fed faster than like probably you might have thought was going to happen a few months ago. And like, I don't think anyone knows literally what their thinking on that is, outside of conversations very, very few people are privy to, and some things that are probably not said in conversation that much. I don't think necessarily like a lot of, whether it's Trump people or global asset holders, like, I don't think they have a huge knowledge of like how populist Besant has been in the past. And so like what he and Worst might have talked about doing and like what the consequences, how they'll redound down the road. Like, I think a lot of those people are like, look, that's great. They're just like all about keeping the market up, but there might be other stuff going on. So that's one thing. And then the next thing would be like, you know, like, can you bring the actual like power of the security state and the military industrial complex and, you know, the tech sector, which is now functionally like part of those things, like, can you bring them under political control, in part by like just outlining how much they're not under political control now? Like, would a JD Vance presidency pursue something like that? Like, there's no evidence for that, but there's like no evidence. There's no evidence that he would tip his hand on that, you know? So it's just, it starts to get into weird stuff where I'm just speculating, but like, just, this is something that is out there. JD and Tucker like went to Sun Valley together once, and Tucker kind of like said the stuff I'm saying to him and was like, look around you, like, these are the people who did the stuff that screwed up your community. Like, this is what it really is. And that was like JD's radicalization moment. That's probably like ginned up. They probably like worked that up in order to tell reporters, but that's like literally what they offer as an explanation for like how he changed. And in so much as that's true at all, or like it describes like what the motivations are like, he's playing a long game, and like he probably like actually is doing that, and like probably has ideas of buttons that I'm not thinking of right now because I'm not the vice president, you know? And so like, I think he's probably pretty bummed, because I think there's a different version of the Trump administration where he like laid low for a while and then emerged and like got to hit the buttons, you know? And like, he would like save Shut America. And now he probably won't win the election, you know? But I don't think if that's actually what's going on in people's heads, like, I don't think Tucker will run. I think he'll tease it. This is wild speculation, though. This is just from like conversations with people. This is, I don't, you know.
But what about Rubio? How does he play into it?
I just think the last Secretary of State to administer the American Empire is going to have a hard time. I just don't think the establishment candidate in this Republican Party in this administration is going to have a lot of chance getting out of a Republican primary, much less like becoming president. Maybe they'll pull something out of all this, but it's only getting worse. Like, it's only getting worse from here right now.
Yeah, and I think there is some like, does JD have too much Trump stink on him at the end of the next 2 years? Rubio is clearly ambitious. I don't think anybody can deny the guy wants to be president. If I'm wrong there, then I would be very surprised. People are gonna give him money. That is a massive juxtaposition. And then you have homeboy in Florida. You have DeSantis that I think ends up becoming, I mean, he could become a kingmaker, at least in the mind of the Republican establishment of whatever it is. I don't know. The People's Choice will be interesting. I don't know. I think you just have too much hatred against the establishment. I think there is too much Trump backlash right now going into.
Well, I think the
2028.
kingmaker, the Rubio question is the kingmaker question, because like part of the question is by 2027, how much of Trump's kingmaker power is relevant to that primary? Like, does Trump still get to pick who the next guy is, or is he seen as like a late George W. Bush, lame
That's what I mean.
duck,
The stink
low
of of MAGA is gonna, and I don't know if MAGA separates itself as a coalition. They go to JD maybe, but in like the stink of Trump is gonna definitely impact. And that is
it's
where
a little
I mean,
different than with Bush, though.
But
Like
look
if
at
you look
Tucker.
at the
But
if you
look
look
at
at the
Tucker, dude.
approvals with Bush and Trump, like Bush
Yeah,
very
but you
gradually in the second term just lost like
I don't think you can compare these times because people like Tucker, and yeah, you know, I think you had big names. Obviously, you had like Limbaugh and stuff like that. But I don't think you had people like Tucker that were just Tucker. His whole little coalition with, you know, with Megan and Candace and all that. Dude, the boomers love that shit. They eat it up. MAGA loves that stuff because that audience was always sort of they ate up conspiracy. They eat up, you know, the anti-establishment stuff. They love this sort of fight, this existential fight that is against the Republican Party. I think that is like, even a Fox News guy loves the idea of like, yeah, these guys, you know, like, I think there is a part of this that's like really, you have to, those people are going to impact the views of a massive portion of the political landscape. And I don't know, man. They like they like JD, obviously Tucker and JD, that's like the whole thing, but I just don't know how I don't know how Tucker swings like, no, buddy, like vote for the technocrats. These are the good guys. You know, I don't know how he swings that in, like, he jives that message in 2 years. And I don't know. That's very interesting to me.
There's no way. I don't think. I mean, I think Steve or Tucker will run. And unless there's, I think they, you know, and I think they will have conversations with JD in advance. And there will be someone who runs as the anti-establishment person. And that person is the only person who has a real chance of winning. Like, unless there's something, because you're like, the only thing they have now is like, we're going to run against woke. Like a Rubio's like, I'm going to run on American power and against woke. Like, and
yeah, but if Rubio gets DeSantis and they say they're a little Florida couple and they're gonna be like policy driven, you know, where the rubber meets the road, tangibly change your life, like we did for Floridians. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be, at least for the Republican Party. I am actually strictly just speaking from the right. I don't think that's a winning message for America. I don't think that wins them election, but I think that is the who takes the mantle in 2 years. I think JD has a very hard battle for that, even with
maybe
Tucker.
It's going to be hard though, because by then, like the Trump is like, it's not, the Mad King stuff is not fake. Like I'll tell you, I like, my fiance is the White House correspondent. It's not fake. Like everything, we're losing the most important war America's fought in the post-war era, and everything he's doing is about like ballrooms and like the arch that he's going to build, like in Arlington National Cemetery. Like people don't like this shit. Like you're going to build a huge arch, like casting shadows over the graves of soldiers. Like people don't, Republicans, it's just not going to hold together. And
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that's it. I actually have to go, but sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just curious, like your like explanation of why this war is being lost at the moment, because like that's something that the whole thing to me seems unsettled. Like, I definitely wouldn't say they're winning, but I would say, like, we haven't had American casualties. There seems to be geoeconomic factors that are weighing in here that are still being like, the whole thing just seems up in the air, and I'm curious why you say, like, we're losing the worst war in however many years.
Because the fundamental basis on which, like, that whole system of the dollar works is the guarantee of supply lines. So if you have, like, an economy that produces nothing and is based on extracting, like, dollar denominated profits from all the people who do, well, you have to be able to say, like, no one can shut down the oil supply in the Persian Gulf because all of our stoves take 10,000 different inputs that we can't replace, right? So the whole, like, thing, and this is, like, built into American strategic doctrine, is like control the Persian Gulf but us. It's the Carter doctrine, you know. This goes back a long time, and particularly because, like, the only allies we truly have who send us their tribute via recycled assets are the Gulf countries. Like, Iran could at this moment functionally level the Gulf countries, and we couldn't do anything about it because we've run through all of our stocks of interceptors, we've run through all of our stocks of long-range strike missiles. We don't have any ATACMS left. We have half our Tomahawks. I don't currently know what the stocks of interceptors are, but there's not a lot. And so, like, this whole thing of, like, Iran hits a thing and we intercept 3 things, and then Trump, like, goes ballistic. He's like, why the fuck are they doing that? I thought it's because, like, what they're doing is not trying to hit that base, or not trying. It doesn't really matter. They're saying, we can hit it, and we're going to mess with you, and you're going to use 3 more. All right, let's keep doing it. Okay, you want to try? Let's go. And the U.S. is going, no, like, seriously, chill. And every time we say we're going to escalate, and then we don't, it's because, yes, we can destroy all their power plants. But the problem is we actually can't destroy whatever, like, production base or storage or all this stuff that they have for all those missiles. And so what we can't do is destroy their ability to level Kuwait. And so, given current terms, and again, I'm not a military expert, but I follow this stuff pretty closely. Given current terms, the United States is going to retreat from the Persian Gulf. Like, we're going to lose our bases. We're not going to be able to put guys back there. That's not the kind of thing that happened in Vietnam. This is something really different. This is something, a core American strategic interest, a core basis on which, like, the entire system works. Like, we just lost control over. And, like, it would actually be a radical change of circumstances for that not to be true. Like, it's not like, okay, everybody calls it even now, and, like, it could be fine. It's like, that's the situation. The situation now is as bad as you could possibly imagine for, like, the structure of this thing. And maybe there's some weird miracle by which, like, we could make it not as bad. That's the reality. And, like, people don't really get that yet, but they're gonna. And so, like, again, extrapolate that 2 years. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna be running against that. JD's in a good position with that, because it was like, he's the one guy who was like, it's not a good idea. But, like, it could also be, you know, like, when Besant came in, he said bond yields at 5% is, like, where, he didn't say this, but people interpreted his words to think that like, if bond yields hit 5%, like, that's kind of like where America breaks. That's where, like, the people who keep sending the money that basically we use to finance the bonds that allow us to keep the debt party going and stuff. Well, eventually you get to a point where you're, like, printing so much money to keep the money coming in that, like, your debt starts to go up so much that they stop wanting to finance it. And then the bathtub just starts to drain, because, like, then it just triggers a capital flight. And so all the fake money, both that's, like, financing the debt and that's lifting the markets, just goes away at once. And, like, that was built into the Bretton Woods system. People were like, don't do this. Like, this is a dangerous way to set something up. And then we doubled down on it in the 70s. And, like, Besant's whole thing when he came in was like, well, we could have a Tiffin dilemma crisis. Like, let's peel back from this. And they were like, no, let's do AI and run straight towards it. And then we did a war, like, in the place that was keeping it going. So that's the scenario.
So you're saying so we have the system doesn't, because the cash is printed, it's based on the energy. The cash is protected basically by the might of our military. We have to continue to fight and grow the military industrial complex, basically protect our debt. People won't buy our debt unless we own oil. We own oil by the might
there's
of
an
our
easier way to look
empire.
at it. So imagine, just functionally speaking, we don't produce that much stuff, right? Other guys produce a lot of stuff. We need to be able to like finance stuff and buy stuff, right? So, and they need us to be able to do that, because if we didn't do that, then they wouldn't be able to sell as much stuff. So like we supercharge the whole system basically by adding a lot of fake money. And like we added a lot more fake money than normal after 2008, which created this big problem, because the liquidity in the system, when we talk about dollars, that's treasury debt.
Right.
And so like you create this massive incentive for more treasury debt to supercharge the system. Then when you're in debt and your whole economy depends on rich people spending money and an AI bubble, you really have an incentive to produce more debt. Okay, well, all of a sudden you're producing so much debt that the people financing the debt, who are the same people putting all the money on the market, not all, but the same people juicing the market by sending their profits back, they're like, well, fuck, like, we don't want to keep buying the bonds. And then if nobody wants to keep buying the bonds, the yields go up. And then they start looking at that and they're like, wow, like the markets there aren't going to keep going up forever. So like, why do we have all our money in their markets? And then you create a run on this massive bubble pyramid debt problem thing. And I'm not saying literally this will happen, but like this is what's called the Tiffin dilemma. This is a classic problem for reserve currency countries. This is like the thing that everyone's trying to not do. And what we did was like make a leverage bet that put us right on the edge of it. So, and then start a war. like not, it's just, it wasn't necessarily like how you would plan this if you were thinking. And that, so I don't know, that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, we can talk about politics, but I just think things are going to be different. And because even if this doesn't happen, what I'm talking about, like, we're going to be on the edge of stuff where like, it's just going to be hard to do things that make people happy. It's going to be hard to spend money. Like, you're not going to be able to like give people goodies in the same way. You're not going to be able to like go fight a war and it's fine. You're going to start losing more wars because the bond market's just going to tell you like, go the fuck home. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. And the Tiffin dilemma, if you're a retard like me, is an economic paradox stating...
It might have been Triffin, sorry, but yeah.
Triffin dilemma, sorry. Yeah, is an economic paradox stating the country whose national currency serves as the global reserve currency, the US dollar, must run persistent trade deficits to supply the world with liquidity. So we have to constantly... This threatens the long-term stability and value of that currency. So we have to constantly be printing our money in order to create the liquidity, because they have to use our currency to settle their energy debts, essentially. And now because of AI, the energy debt is, we essentially, if we don't own the oil, and so we go to an Iran and we're like, we'll help out Israel, but we're going to own the oil. And then Iran's like, no, we'll just fight this out with drones until your fucking shitty military is destroyed.
Yep.
Or you can't fight back. So we're just losing, and they got the oil and we're the bitch basically right now.
Yep.
Because by the way, all those AI contracts are signed. Like, that's the craziest part. Like, they've already committed like $500 trillion or something.
Yeah. But that's
or whatever.
But also, like, the Saudis have committed trillions of dollars. The Saudis have committed literally $1 trillion to recycle back largely into that kind of thing. But Iran could, like, this is what they did in Dubai. They were just hitting Dubai over and over and over until the UAE, who knows what they really did, but until the UAE, there were some conversations, right? But like, they could end Dubai as a financial sense. And like, when Dubai was kind of like, well, we're gonna seize all the shadow banking stuff that we do for you, Iran was like, fine, who cares? Like, whatever, we've been cut out of the global economy forever. And like, they can do that with Saudi. Saudi lost a war to the Houthis. Like, it's just, they can put these people in the grave. Like, and so, and we just didn't, a lot of people didn't know that. Like, it sucks because there's like a ton of like not well-paid military analysts who tweet all the time, or who you can talk to in DC, who are like, oh yeah, we should really not start a war with Iran because like the math is really bad. And like, you know, people told that to Trump, but they were just scared of Trump. Everybody's just scared of Trump. And so like they told it in really delicate ways. And he was like, fuck it, let's do it. And it's the most boomer mindset ever. You know, it's just like, it's America. Like, we'll figure it out. And this was just the line where like everything, it was like reality suddenly hit, you know? I have to go though. I have a dinner. But
James Pogue, thanks so much. We'd love to have you on again. That was great. That was the smartest episode we've ever had.
Yeah. Do you want to plug anything real quick?
Well, someday soon, hopefully, I have a Besson profile coming out in the New York Times. I just turned it in, so fingers crossed, knock wood, whatever.
Nice.
But I'm trying to explain all this, so check.
If for any reason the New York Times doesn't want to publish it, Mama would be happy to take that profile.
Got it.
Also.
Got it. All right, thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thank you, James. Awesome. God bless everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, we're not going to keep going for another 2 hours?
We can if you want. We can
What's
do
up?
it.
What's up,
I'll do it
Swampist?
right now. That was so
Let's go
good.
3 more
James,
minutes
how good
till
is
the end of
James?
the hour. Dude, James
How good
was
is James.
just killing. I just the whole time.
Why did
I
we
was
not
like,
think of him just being recurrent? So good. He should get a podcast himself. I'm gonna see if New York Times. I'm gonna try and steal him from the New York Times. Do a podcast. So good.
It was just
and
like
talk
he
about
said.
just. It's interesting because like we were talking about something, and then he just sort of like, I don't even know. We prompted him with something so gay and retarded, and he was like, actually, like, that's a good question. Oh no, yeah, we like started with Tucker, and he was like, well, yeah, well, so this is what's going on, and like, yeah, Tucker's like kind of part of this, but like, here's actually what's going on in America, and like, here's what's going on, and you're like, oh shit, and then you're like, fuck, you're right. Okay, what does that mean? What's a Triffin dilemma?
Yeah, it was
and
like Isaac.
you're like, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And he's like, yeah, so that's what's happening. It's funny, nobody like is hiring him to be. Shouldn't somebody be like hiring him to? I guess he just writes they let him into the room, right? So he is kind of like, in some ways, I bet they don't ask his opinion, but he writes what they're doing. So in some ways, they need his approval, I think, as a New York Times guy, you know. They don't let you into the room unless they are kind of confident in what they're doing, and they're gonna project themselves in a way. But the beauty of like James is like, actually, I read this because I'm good at this. Like I'll read this in a different. I'll read through the tea leaves and I see the real story. Because like, dude, they let it. You know, I guess maybe it's because of New York Times, which is great. But it's like Mom Donnie, JD Van. I think he's done things on Basent. They let him in. Because they trust him to be a truth teller, to get it right, and to not like this. It doesn't turn into a hatchet job. It's like it actually like you get a really thoughtful and interesting perspective. And so yeah, he's the best. He is really so good. It's hard sometimes when you're like just. Because he's also the best hang too, like sitting at Buttersworth's till like 3 a.m. drinking 1,000 fucking Guinnesses with fucking our boy Bart, and we're just smoking cigarettes and like Sohrab Ahmari. And Sohrab Ahmari is like a leftist libtard in a lot of ways, but I don't. And Pogue is such an. I don't even know what he is. Nobody knows what he is.
He's definitely not right. Yeah, that's why it
right.
is an interesting point, like how the New York Times lets a guy like that in, and does like trust him with that amount of influence and responsibility.
The New York Times is also not a monolith. I've used this term a couple times, but like, when it comes to foreign policy and some of their other journalism stuff, they've always been the best at that. And it's never been like, it's really just like when the editorial board got really weird. I think in the last 10 years or so, they've turned themselves into a joke on some things, but I don't think anybody like the stuff that like James covers, the sort of foreign policy, politics, and stuff like that. They've always, I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but I always like, I don't think it's all the same, and I think he's respected because he's great at like, he's good at connecting with people, making people feel comfortable, but also he's not retarded. And he has these principles, I think, where he's like, he wants to tell the story, not like, I don't know. He's not an activist. He's a true journalist. And
It's true. He's neither an activist nor like an attention whore, which is the other type of.
Yeah. He's just really, he's like true to the fucking game, man. And he is like, and he is an original in a lot of ways, man. He's a Pogue, man. You can get him, get a couple cocktails. He'll hang out.
Dude, I know. And I was at the wagon box.
And talk it through with you like 4 a.m. blacked out, doesn't matter. He's still exactly on his game as he is at like a fucking like paid speaking engagement. He's still like classic Pogue, and you're getting like the most quality level analysis.
Yeah, and also I remember like, I was at the wagon box and he was teaching like 40 people how to like fly fish by the river. He had like all his gear, and he had his dad who's an old fly fisherman, and he was like telling all these old stories about like how to fly fish properly, and teaching about the the way you set the line, and the way you and I used to do this down in the river, in the valley, in the Salinas Valley back when I was a kid, and it was sick. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And I've also
popped
been
in. Yeah. We were not talking about James K. Polk. We're talking about James Pogue.
Dude, the other funny thing with Pogue is we went to Tijuana like maybe 6 months ago. We had this big like boys trip to Tijuana, and we had this like mansion, and there's all these rooms, and there's bunks, and there's couches, and like everyone's like, running in to like claim their area and shit. Pogue shows up, and he just immediately walks into the backyard with a sleeping bag, and he was just like, I'll just be outside. I'll just be camping out here in the backyard.
I think he did some railroad stuff in America. I could be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure he did. He like lived in box cars for a while to do a bit. I think he lived in New Orleans for a little bit too. I know he's a big fan of the American South. He's a Dixie respecter. Josiah wants to pop in. All right, can we do 10 more minutes?
Yeah. What's up, Josiah?
Let's do Josiah. We got to hop. Josiah deserves his own episode. Josiah, I'm going to text you right now the link to pop in. Josiah does deserve his own, because Josiah is a freak, dude. He's a Zoomer, true Zoomer.
Finally, dude, I'm always the only Zoomer voice.
Yeah, but he's a younger Zoomer. I think he's only 22.
Oh wow!
But you also were you have an old soul.
I'm also you kind of described it correctly. I don't believe really in Zoomers and millennials. Like there's a middle generation that you described that's like, I'm 27, whatever, Zillennial. Like that is a different thing than the other two, because it means your life wasn't 9/11, you don't remember 9/11, but also you did have a childhood that was relatively normal, where you weren't on an iPad the whole time, and where you like weren't on Instagram and social media through your developmental years. So you're like a post 9/11 kid, but you're a pre-total retardation technology kid.
Yeah.
So that little 5-6 year window of the Zillennial, I think, is kind of its own generation.
Yeah, and I think Isaac's basically Gen X. I mean, he's 65 years old, I think. So I'm like, it's so funny how grandpa he gets with his takes, and then other times he's like the Zoomer of the bunch.
Well, you can tell with a lot of Isaac's takes, it's like the broad cultural take is just like something that bothered him that week. Like he had a conversation with his nephew or whatever, his cousin, that like pissed him off, and he's like, all of these Zoomers, everywhere I go.
Exactly. And he's he's talking about his uncle, or he's talking about his cousins is 25. I'm sure if we really did some digging, his cousin's 35. And he just thinks he's still 25. Yeah.
I'm so sick of the Zoomer hate, man.
We got to wrap this up soon. My wife's going to be pissed.
Let's go.
So pissed. My son's here. He's looking. Look, come here. What, you don't want to get on camera now? Why?
What's up, little Swamp?
Baby Swamp.
Baby Swamp.
He's like,
yeah, dude. I was just trying to join in with the whole Gen Z conversation, all the propaganda.
You're a true Zer. You're a Zoomer.
Mm-hmm.
And you heard the conversation. Josiah's a faithful listener. Do you agree with my general take that like Zoomers are mostly against millennial speak?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and his comparison to Bear, I mean, most Gen Z people are not on pharmaceutical drugs, and Bear was. I feel like Bear was more of a representation of millennial than anything. I mean, he's taken a whole bunch of pills. Like millennials were so eager to try out antidepressants, ADHD medication, all of this shit.
You're saying
And,
Zoomers aren't on medications though, as much as millennials? That would surprise me actually. I think
well,
Zoomers are probably more on shit than anyone.
I think they're more anti big pharma than anything, which is why they're like leaning into peptides and like they do things that are different from the doctors. With Zoomers,
okay, but I would say that is the prevailing Zoomer counterculture, right? That's like, and I believe the prevailing I feel like the prevailing young Zoomer culture right now is kind of like leans right because it's male. It seems male driven. But
so it's totally split. I mean, it's either radical left or radical right. So Zoomer culture really is counterculture at the end of the day. That's what the Zoomers are. And it's almost so in your face counterculture that it's like a stereotype in a way. It's like girls will talk about certain makeup trends that the Kardashians are doing and try to do something that's directly opposite just to like counter what's being pushed onto them. So they're controllable in that way, which is really interesting.
Wow.
So do you be dating Zoomer girls, Josiah?
I'm married. So
he's married with 2 kids and he's 12 years old.
Yeah, so when I date, I don't talk about it publicly.
Yeah. Josiah, hold on. Let me give you Josiah's resume because it's pretty gross. It's a good resume. I don't know if I'm allowed to say all this, but I'll tell you, your OG Josiah, or your OG shit. Holy shit. Elijah Schaefer's producer, right? OG.
Yeah, that's the start.
So in a lot of ways created Elijah Schaefer. I'm not shitting on Elijah and I'm not like glazing you. I just mean like you're his producer. Anybody would say like the person that has to do a lot of the work is like the producer. And if Elijah exploded in that era because he had great producers, I think the Blaze had a good team around Elijah at that time.
Well, so I was the PR guy because Elijah was going through some rough patches. So I came in and did some PR post PR crisis #1. And the reason why he didn't implode was because I lived at his house. Like I was around him 24/7, constantly with him. And and then shortly after moved to Australia. And now I don't know what
you moved to Australia or he did?
He did.
I know he did. I thought, oh damn! I was like, did you go with him? And then over the last few years, you've worked with a couple of the biggest names on the right. Am I allowed to say?
Yeah, I mean Benny, #1.
Benny and Charlie.
Benny, Charlie, James Klug,
the best.
Couple Canadians. And then I was creative director at Tenet before they got shut down with the Russia scandal.
I didn't know you worked for what, you were the only guy with like the boiler room office at Tenet?
Yeah, no, yeah. So I led their
so Josiah knows how to do podcasts and know how to make things good on YouTube and social media, and we're faggots and we're old, so but Josiah now works for Darth Vader like I do, so you're so kicked.
You're so kicked. No wonder why you guys don't get views. You're over here dropping F-bombs on a YouTube live stream.
Oh, you're not allowed to say fuck on YouTube?
Right, yes.
No, dude, we had shit like saying,
what? You can't say
dude, you can't say fuck, and we also put retard in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, every like 3 episodes, Harrison will go on like an N-word rant that's like 5 minutes long. Also.
That's okay. He's black. He's blackish, Jewish.
I'm not even knocking it. I'm just saying for YouTube purposes, that's probably not ideal.
Well, I mean, like if I were to look at your guys' YouTube channel, it no longer exists doing Mama Podcast number 1488 for the title. You have to have like a certain spin or something for your CTR, and dropping Mama as your thumbnail.
You gotta say like
you guys have to package this. Yeah.
See, we have to say like Gavin Newsom.
Gavin, yeah.
California's.
We need like me and Harrison like doing the pointing
Yeah.
soy face like
Or this.
James Pogue, nuclear war take. Oh.
Literally, I mean,
it's
if
going to end in 3 days.
dude, if literally you guys had this
Yeah.
play with Pogue, I mean, Tucker
How
Carlson,
great is Pogue?
Insider
You like
exposes
that,
all.
Josiah? You probably never heard him before, have you?
No,
He's
and
so good, dude.
dude, he's
he
he's
should
legit.
be doing a podcast. We might have to sign him at the Death Star.
I know. We could do so much good work there. He was giving me
so
this
good.
like,
and he's
this,
not like he's not a right-wing sycophant. I think that's like so like right now everybody is, right? The guy behind the mic, the Dude Bro podcast, you know. And dude, I'm not shitting on The Blaze at all. I think I love Nick Freitas. I think he's like really good on YouTube. But I think that model is really struggling right now because people are just like, you know, 10 years ago when the Trump thing came out and people were getting canceled. So you go back to like 2021, you get like 10 years of, oh, this person is like being canceled or they're saying something interesting. I want to hear what they have to say. I'm interested in new ideas. I think it's all consolidated. And so there's like 5 people anybody really cares about. And even their numbers are the low. New York Times has put out a whole thing like the top 12 folks includes Benny, includes Tucker, includes Candace. Like they're all down. Benny's the only one that's actually grown in the last 6 months because I think he stopped. He actually bailed out of. He doesn't talk about any of the drama stuff, but everybody else, they're down. Everybody's down. The whole market on the conservative side is down. So it's like, and that's why it's like just somebody like to hear somebody like Pogue say all that stuff where it's like, I wish Tucker was more like that. But Tucker goes the step further because he's a true entertainer and he does want the, you know, he's an entertainer. Pogue
he plays to X. He plays to X.
He plays
and
to
so
X, and his brother's in his ear all the time. He's like best friends with his brother, which I think is awesome. I love that his brother's like a total groiper psychopath. And he's just like, I've been listening to my brother a lot. He's making a lot of sense recently. Like, it's like everybody goes through that moment in their life with their family where you're like, yeah, dude, my brother is like actually a crazy racist psychopath. And I agree with everything that he's saying. And
see,
like,
my little brother's just like 2 years younger. And he's just like, he calls me and I totally know he's been watching Clav and he just repeats Clav talking points. He's like, yeah, dude, politics are totally jester.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why you're in this industry.
It's so
like,
true.
Seriously, it's such a jester industry. I'm like,
that's base, dude. I think that is base. I think Clav is a genius. Speaking of Clav, you know, all these guys have the same PR guy. This is the craziest thing, dude.
That like Miami Jew that does all their
I don't
PR.
know if he's Jew.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think he's a Jew.
He's the best.
Like handler. Yeah.
We're gonna talk to him.
He does like left and right, like everybody.
We're talking to Josiah. We're talking to him tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me though.
Yeah, you're gonna be on the call.
Oh, sick. Yeah, no, I'm buddies with Clap, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, dude, we need all the 12, 20-year-olds, dude. We need them all here.
It was so funny when do you remember
Mama's baby Death Star, but we're doing it all.
Do you remember when I went to the Clav party with Isabella
in Arizona?
Yeah.
And everybody thought Isabella was trying to jock.
Yeah, and everybody's first
and
first
like
narrative.
A picture of you taking a picture of her. And
yes,
it's like
yes.
Picture.
Okay, yes, but wait. Which, by the way, he did great PR for me.
Actually.
He did great PR for me.
The thing that I love about you is it is very Clav of you. You don't. This shit rolls right off your back. You don't care. Versus like somebody like Isaac who's just like chimps out. If an anon with 100 followers says something negative about Mama, Isaac will go on the warpath. You're just like. No press is bad press. Like any press, no such thing as bad press.
Well, I mean, think about it. This dude is talking about looks maxing his whole thing, his PSL, everything. Right after we go to this party, which we largely went to because my little brother's a huge fan of Clav. So I bring and he's a college kid. So I bring all the college boys. We pull up to this party.
Uh-oh.
They get to hang out with Clav. It's like the coolest night for them probably this year. And then I'm like pushing Isabella. I'm like, come on, like we have to get in the stream. We have to do some content. So I'm like, I tell her, I'm like, hey, go take Clav, can Isabella get a picture with you? And I go to like take the photo because I'm just trying to like push her into the. She didn't want to do it. She felt so awkward because Clav is like fucking Michael Jackson. I mean, all of these people are swarming him. Everybody wants to be on stream. This is the same night that the ASU frame mogging happened too.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like there's this whole thing, right? It's this whole culture here. But yeah, so I'm like, I try to push this conversation. I initiate it by like, let's get a photo. I take the photo. First narrative is she's literally at an ASU frat party. What is she? Isn't she a mother? What is she doing? We got a babysitter, obviously, to go to this party. It's not like we just like abandoned our kids to go see Clav, which would be base, by the way. But so then we,
so true, dude. People just ask like, so where are your kids right now? It's like, well, I don't know. I don't even know. That's what my wife and I always say. We're like, oh shit, we didn't even think about that. Where are they?
So ridiculous. And then everybody's like, she has a husband. Where's her kids? Where's her husband? And then they start screenshotting saying he's right here. And then it's the photo of me like leaned back taking the photo. And they're like, holy crap, this guy is such a cuck. Why would he take this photo? Oh my gosh. And I'm like, okay, this is how it goes, man. This is how it goes.
Yeah, you have like the brain of a grizzled old married man and you're 23 years old. I think that's so funny to me. 22 or 23? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
23.
You just turned 23.
Yeah, I mean, a few months ago.
Love that.
Dude, so do you think, Josiah, like talking about
your
Clav,
shirt says, or your hat says YN?
It's New York, but it should say YN. Holy shit.
YN hat
I need to do that. That's so based.
Do you think somebody like Clav is only like, we're both like internet people, so we know about him or whatever? You're saying all these people are freaking out trying to be around him. Do you think the normie Gen Z person of your generation and kind of my generation knows about Clav? Do you think he's at that level where genuine normies, like true, I'm not online all day, I have a normal job at a construction site, I watch Netflix, like normies know about him?
I do, yeah. So I think that I come from like, my parents are heavy in the pool industry. So this is all kind of your blue collar. That's how I started off cleaning pools. And like all of these guys that clean pools, they work and then they go home and they jump on the internet and they're like either on a Discord call or watching a live stream while they're playing, video games or something. So they exist in a sense of being chronically online, just like everybody else. I think like the idea of chronically online is kind of fake. It's just everybody is online. And most of the guys I know who go to the gym, they know about Clav. And these are all going to be your guys who pick up, bricks. And then they also have pick up bricks, do construction. Harrison, was that Swampist?
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. These are all like your in physical labor types. So yeah, they totally do. I think it's more so that Gen Z, I think, is getting started with families. Like there's a lot of guys I know that get started with families pretty young. And we're like, it's not a Mormon thing either. And I think those are going to be the people who are going to be less engaged. So I mean, it kind of just depends on the family statistics,
What
really.
about
Like
Twitter, dude? Or not Twitter. Instagram is more racist than Twitter now.
Yeah. Well, Zuckerberg talked about how he's pulling off the like content restriction basically, and everybody grilled him for the FBI getting involved with Meta during the like Hunter Biden laptop story and shit. So and then he kind of had to eat shit. And so he's literally put out a video, I think a year and a half ago, talking about how he's done doing the censorship. It still exists pretty heavily.
This
but
libtard chick with like 1 million followers posted like the life expectancy map of the United States, which is really just the black map. And every comment is just the most Twitter comment I've ever seen in my life. It's just like, oh my God, she posted the map. It's like, ooh, who lives in those people? It's like, it's literally like they're inward posting. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like,
yeah, and it's like people's like normal like face
dude, it's just like Joe Smith 2024, like
No,
it's just like
you click and you just see his engagement
post. Yeah, it's just like these are people like they're posting their job in the
just started at Sears.
So this is the funniest part. This is the funniest part. My wife, Isabella, she grew to like 450,000 followers on Instagram after being banned multiple times. And all she does is like talk shit about ethnicities, basically, in the most stereotypical way. And it just blows up all the time. So she does it with the blacks, and I mean, like, the content she shows, I have to tell her sometimes, I'm like, I don't even want to see this on my feed. Like, this obese, like morbidly obese black person doing something degenerate, and you being like, ew, that's gross. These N-words or whatever she says, like, you know, but she blew up. Sylvester Stallone followed her. You know, the guy who's like just this Chad, he's super ripped, and it's always the song, "Oh, I just died in your arms tonight."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a super
It's always the top
beefy
comment.
Chad guy. Yeah. He followed her, said, "Keep killing it." Like, all of these people have like this closeted, like
Mike
built
O'Hearn.
up, like, yes, that's him. They have this like closeted, built up like racism from just being like censored for so long. And they just, it like
Well, it
motivates
also,
them
like,
to hit
it-
like and
It gets you.
engage.
It kills the algorithm for you. You get crazy views. It's like, it's so lowbrow, and it's funny, man. You see Nick Fuentes now, like, can't stand it. Nick is like basically fucking sounds like Ben Shapiro the last like 3 weeks. He's just like,
It's so
dude,
funny.
just like,
Dude,
I
that
can't-
clip you sent,
yeah, where he's like, I
that
hate
clip
the
you
voice.
sent where he's like, turn off the light.
Hashem, send the
Gordon.
Gentiles to turn off the
Press
light.
the elevator. Press the button on the elevator.
Yeah,
Gordon.
thanks.
That
Go
was
shut the
so
fuck up and turn the
fucking
light off,
funny.
you fucking
It's
Gordon.
so
Dude,
funny.
It's crazy, dude. Could you imagine, like, you've been the J-pilled guy for 10 years and now you're just like,
Oh my
wait,
God.
oh my God, I can't, the monster I've created, like, I don't even agree with any of these people anymore. Like, I'm just like,
Well, I mean, you
I'm
know what's funny is I just met with Jake Shields in Vegas last weekend and hung out with him.
dude, Jake Shields, I know, I'm sure that's your buddy, whatever. He is retarded. He's retarded. I cannot watch any content that he makes. People think he's smart. I can't listen to this guy. I think he's retarded.
Wait, literally, I mean, like, this is the thing. People who get punched all the time, like, obviously your brain
Punched
is
a
like,
few times.
yeah, this is why I feel deeply sympathetic and like,
Why do they
I
people? But
like
he's got a
him.
massive following.
Yeah, he does.
Is
I
it
mean,
is it just like MMA J-pilled like chuds?
it's like he's like
Yeah.
he was on Bully Beatdown. You guys remember Bully Beatdown?
No.
Bully Beatdown was like this offshoot TV show where
I'm gonna look this
UFC
up.
fighters would like go and grab these bullies and just put them in the ring UFC style and just beat the shit out of bullies. And so Jake Shields like came up from every single which way the UFC. So they first had that Ultimate Fighter competition. Jake Shields was in there, gets signed to the UFC, goes to Bully Beatdown. I mean, like,
Did
he's
UFC create that?
I think so. No, it might.
So smart. It was on MTV in 2009. It was a reality show on MTV. That is genius if they came up with that, or somebody at just MTV.
It was. I don't
would
know if
do
it was
numbers
them
on
or somebody
YouTube
else.
right now.
I know. And it was so funny because it was clearly scripted and fake. I mean, this guy came on. He's like 27 years old. He was like, my older stepbrother gave me a wedgie so bad that he like ripped my anus, and I had to go get a stitch from the doctors. And then he got like his ass beat in the ring. So funny. But yeah, I mean, so Jake Shields has just been around this environment. He has this like bully. I'm gonna beat the bully. I'm gonna get into the ring. I'm gonna use my fist. But I mean, like, these are intellectual conversations. This is a battle of ideas, right? Like, it's a totally different style of fighting than somebody like Jake Shields is used to. But I'm sympathetic towards it nonetheless.
Well, I don't know, man. It's 3 hours and 8 minutes. I'm down. I can go forever. I don't care. But
No, I don't want you to get beat by your wife.
Is that Ricky on your shirt?
No, I don't know. It's Harley Davidson shirt.
Oh, okay. Thought that was our
Yeah, dude. No, it was good
producer
that
at
we
The Blaze.
hit.
Thought that she was on your shirt right there.
Ricky Ratliff. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. No,
Glenn Beck's
she would need
producer.
like 40 more pounds.
She tried to get me fired so many times.
Yeah, me too. That's so kick. Wow.
It looks just like her, actually. Oh, dude. Oh, man, Denzel. So guess what, Denzel? You are the next contestant on We're Gonna Fucking Kill Your Jew Faggot Ass. Why is your room red? I'm sorry.
I like how 3 hours and 9 minutes in, you're asking why my room is. We've been doing this for literally the
I
entire
know. I
afternoon.
thought
Because,
like
dude,
a
I got a
Seinfeld
new.
bit
Because I'm
where you're just like under the red light, the cooking light.
I'm looks maxing. You don't know about red light?
I think
True.
Are you a rotisserie chicken?
No, dude. Red light like makes your cells healthy, makes your dick work better or something.
Yeah, it's good for
Blood
you.
flow
like,
increases blood flow to the
It's good
cock.
for
You
you.
couldn't do that. You couldn't do that
Blood
before.
flow.
Hey Josiah, you know Denzel's Jewish, so he just had an abortion and he doesn't think anything about it at all.
I didn't have an abortion. That did
Yeah,
not
he was
happen
party
at
to
all.
an
I've never
abortion.
been party or privy or partaken in an
He just
abortion
had
in
an
any sense.
abortion and he paid for it.
That's even worse. You know what's crazy is
That's how you know he's lying, because I wouldn't
yeah,
pay
he's
for
you
it.
said you started
That's
off
how
by
you
saying
know
he
that
was
it's
Jewish.
bullshit.
Damn.
Come on.
Almost
Come
got him.
on. He's not paying for
I
any
paid
abortion.
for it.
Uh
Yeah, I would never pay, dude.
I had a tweet.
She can Klarna that. She can pay it off in
Klarna?
monthly installments.
4 monthly installments.
Yeah. She can put it
I
on
missed my
layaway.
abortion Klarna payment. How does that even work, dude? It already went down.
They have to stick the baby back into you.
Paying the interest on
Dave,
the missed abortion Klarna payment.
I'm in arrears. I might have to declare bankruptcy for all these Klarna abortions I've been getting recently.
You know, like
pricier and pricier.
You know, like when it's either you're blackout drunk or it's just a really early morning, but you can't really tell because like you don't remember either. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Wait, what? Say that again?
So it's like it's either like a blackout night or it's like a really early morning where you do something and you can't remember because you're just so sleepy. You know what I'm talking about?
No, dude.
So-
I'm 40.
I do. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I do drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. So I guess that'll go away. But if you try to remember your
20s, you guys are always like, whoa, what happened? I'm
So I
48, dude. I remember every moment of my life now.
Yeah, that's great. So it's 6 a.m. in the morning, and I put out this tweet: "Women with IUDs are raping men," and it's literally 6 a.m. So I'm like, damn, either I got drunk and like stayed up all night and did some stupid tweets, or I just woke up really early and I thought about like if
That's true.
if
do
I
do
have
that.
sex with a girl with an IUD and I don't know about that, I'm literally being raped. I don't know which one it was, but
Yeah, when I
I
take
thought
my 6 a.m. poop and I'm sitting in the toilet, I do sort of like I immediately, because you're not supposed to read rage bait that early in the morning, and so I immediately read or think about like 12 things on the timeline at like 6 a.m. I literally woke up 14 seconds earlier, and I just flipped the phone out, and I'm just like, and I will tweet the dumbest things I've ever said in my life for like that first hour or so.
well, this
And
is the
sometimes
tough part.
they go viral and they're so bad, and you're just like, wow, this is
And
not good.
Well, and then you wonder, it's like, because I have the thought, because I don't look at it when I'm, have the anxiety or whatever. I look at it, I see it like days later, and I'm like, wait a minute, do I double down on this? Like, was either Sleepy Josiah or Drunk Josiah? Does he have a point here? Like, we need to get down to the bottom of this.
Who's more racist, Sleepy Josiah or Drunk Josiah?
Sleepy Josiah is just domestic, dude. I have to tell my wife like she's not allowed to wake me up because I will literally slap her. I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. So he's
domestic,
but I won't drop the N-word when I'm drinking. Oh, it's N-word Josiah City.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
that'll happen. I grew up around too many black people. It's very hard for me to say hard R's unless I'm yelling at my wife.
It never sounds
Yeah.
good. It never sounds good. It's not supposed
I know.
to.
I just don't pull it off. I just sound like a dork if I try to really hit one.
Yeah, it takes like years of practice.
It just doesn't land.
No, Harrison, think about it. You have years
Hard
of
R's.
practice with the hard A, right?
I have the soft A. It's not an issue for me, but
Yeah. So I
hard
mean,
R
like,
is always like,
I don't know if I even pull off soft days, if I'm being honest.
I never want to hear you say that, honestly.
his name is Denzel, though. I mean, he kind of has a
Dude,
pass.
True.
How insane is that?
True.
And dude,
it's so funny when I meet
Denzel?
whenever I am around black people. Like I'll be in I remember I was in a gas station a little while ago and I was with one of my buddies and we were like getting drinks from the like fridges and he called me by my name. He like said Denzel and this black guy turned around and he was like, "Your name's not Denzel." And I was like, "Yeah, my name's Denzel." And he was like, "Your name is not let me see your," and I had like pull my ID and like show him my ID and he was just
it was like showing a
losing his
black
mind.
dude
Like,
magic.
black-
He probably ran down the block.
yeah.
Ran
Yeah,
around the building.
He was like, "No!" Black people freak out when they see my
He
ID.
left immediately and went to your address and robbed
Dude,
your shit.
that's literally like showing a black dude magic at the highest level. Just being a white guy named Denzel. He could have not chimped out harder.
You would think I showed him the Ark of the Covenant. Like he was losing his mind.
What was the logic? Were your parents like fans of Denzel or something?
Dude, they just those
It's
little
pronounced
baby books.
Denzel, and it is Jewish.
Yeah, kinda. They just read it in a baby book. It was literally just utter randomness.
Wow,
that they picked it.
That's a great name. Not as good as Josiah David, I will say. I have the best name. This is why they call me a butt goy on the internet.
It's a good biblical
butt
name.
goy is. You guys have to start using butt goy. It's the funniest fucking
Butt
word.
goy?
Yes, butt goy.
Is that just butt boy? But if you're a goy,
No, I mean it's just like
Listen to this.
You stick your ass out for the Jews, basically.
Oh
butt
my
goy.
God.
4 players named Denzel in the NFL.
I know.
And before your...
There's a lot of Denzels now.
There weren't that many before your first Oscar. There were 0 in 1987.
And this is how you know they named themselves after me. Because, wait a minute, because my name's not pronounced Denzel. My name's pronounced Denzel.
Oh.
I'm Denzel Jr. My father's Denzel Hayes Washington Sr. I'm Denzel Hayes Washington Jr. My mother would say, "Denzel," and we both show up. So she said, "From now on, you're Denzel."
Well,
that's how it got pronounced Denzel.
Oh, that's smart.
He said, "You're Denzel. You're Denzel, and you're Denzel."
There are 2 Denzels.
So yeah, it's Denzel.
Now we know you're definitely named after Denzel. You're named after Denzel's father. That's even worse. 'Cause who the fuck is that guy?
Well, that is how they say it in South Africa, where my mom's from. They say Denzel.
Wait, what? South Africa?
Yeah,
You're
dude,
not
I'm
Jewish.
I am named Denzel, and my mother's born in Africa.
Yeah.
No wonder why you and Swampist get along so well.
Yeah. We are
guys
Gumbo. It's Vampire Face and Gumbo Boy.
Vampire Face and Gumbo Boy. All right, I gotta go take a shit.
We gotta
This
go,
has been
guys.
like a
Love you,
3.5 hour
Josiah.
podcast.
You're good. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it home. Thank you, everybody who joined us.
Dude, this was the most insane podcast ever. We went from film buff Hadrian BELOVE to global foreign policy expert James Pogue to Josiah.
Zoomer.
Over a Zoomer expert.
extraordinaire. Literally the guy that made, literally the guy that created Elijah Schaefer, perhaps Benny Johnson, and perhaps Charlie Kirk. And he's a 23-year-old retarded Zoomer.
That's so funny.
And he's my favorite.
This podcast was like the Third Testament. It was unbelievable.
Don't listen, Jew. Fuck you, Jew. Fucking Shylock bastard. Do not bring up the Bible or Jesus or anything. Okay, you go to your little hovel and
you go to your synagogue.
You're Satan. I'm just kidding. Yair Netanyahu is a big fan of the show. Yair, I'm joking. It's a joke.
If you're listening, he's just kidding.
Yair Jordan, I call him. Yair Jordan, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining the Mama Podcast. Love you all. Be safe, be strong.